Your Honor, this is case number 237 on the calendar in the matter of Peterson versus Peterson. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
This is your grandma.
Yes.
Your grandma says that she made some loans to you while you were living with her.
Yes.
Over $3,000?
Yes.
And you say that there was never a loan, and if there was, you gave her some money in cash, and you bartered for some of it by taking care of her and doing her landscaping.
Yes.
When did you go and live with your grandmother?
It was back in February 2003.
Why?
Well, due to divorce situations with my parents, my dad needed a room so my sisters could live with him, and I had to go.
You weren't having trouble with your father, were you?
No.
So when you realized that you had to find another place to live, did you call your grandmother?
No.
Well, how did it come about that you went to live with her?
I went on my own, and I was in my car for a little bit.
You were in your car?
Yes.
Why were you in your car?
Because I didn't want to beg anyone. I didn't want to ask anyone to do anything.
How were you supporting yourself?
I was going store to store with getting pop cans.
Well, why weren't you working?
I was previously laid off from another job.
How long hadn't you worked?
Since October of '02.
Well, maybe that's why your father told you to get out.
No.
Your grandmother said yes. So your grandmother volunteered to take you in?
I had a cell phone that was about to expire and stuff. She called me on it and was wondering where I was. She didn't want me to... She was basically saying, I don't want you to live on the car. I thought you were going to come live with me. I was like, okay, I will.
Is that what happened?
No, I hadn't had any contact with Justin. Nobody had. And I was very worried about him. And he showed up on my doorstep. I just accepted that he would come and stay with me.
Now tell me about these loans that you claim you made to your grandson.
Okay, he got a job through some friends of mine.
Great. Starting when?
I'm not positive.
February 5th.
Great.
03.
So practically right away?
Yes.
It was before I moved in.
Go ahead.
No, you already lived with me, Justin. Anyway, he owed quite a few bills. His car needed work. He was driving without a license, without insurance, and he was picked up once that I know of, and his car taken away, and I think they took him away too, and his father got him out. So I asked him to make a list of what he owed, and we worked out together what the loan would be. And I have a copy of the original check was $3,500.
Yeah, I see it, please. So he sat down and made a list of what all of his bills were.
Yes. And we supposedly paid off everything he owed.
So that was in July of 2003. You paid off all your debts.
Yeah, that I knew of.
Great. How much did you pay back?
I started paying small increments. Work was starting to get unstable. There was one time where I had a layoff period of 6 weeks.
And what did you do during that 6-week period?
I used unemployment, but it was very little, and I was barely holding on to keeping the insurance that I had.
How much rent were you paying to your grandmother?
$200 a month.
Is that right?
Yes, however, the first 3 months, I didn't ask him to pay anything so he could save money to get an apartment.
So how did you pay her back?
For those first 3 months, all the money that I couldn't save, I was putting towards what was being collected upon me from collection agencies, Verizon, and other companies. And I was basically being swallowed and just trying to keep up.
Well, that's why she gave you this $3,500
yeah,
to consolidate everything
later.
so you could pay it all off and then pay her back regularly in a smaller increment. How much did you pay her back?
Well, I've got records here of what I have paid her.
Can I see it, please?
Yes. This is when I recently got employed, and like agreements we made verbally that I would pay what I can when I could, and at least the minimum.
Well, you have down here $720.
Yes.
And I see that the payments didn't start here until May of 2004.
Yeah. That was
Why is that?
Well, that was when I moved to Umatilla for work.
But, Your Honor, also, I got one of the bills, the statements from the credit card company, and there was a $250...
What credit card company? You gave him a check.
Yes, I did, but it's from a Chase Manhattan Bank. It's from a credit card company.
I see. So they took this right off a credit card.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I got a $250 charge on the credit card, and he said that he had a bill that he had overlooked. I had given him a signed check from the credit card company because they send you blank checks.
So he said you would sign the check and gave it to him?
Yes, he did. And
did you?
No, I didn't.
You mean he told you that you would sign the blank check?
Yes. And anyway, I didn't argue with him because he's always right. So I called the credit company and asked them for a copy of the check because I knew I hadn't given him a check and signed it.
Can I see it, please?
It was a check that he had forged. And he had said, well...
Just a second. What do you have to say about that, Justin?
I'd gotten a notice from Verizon for my cell phone that had expired, and I had $350 still left in the bank, and I needed a little extra to do that. I called her on the phone. She was kind of slurring her words, which I figured she'd been drinking, and she said, okay.
So she is correct that you forged her name to the check.
I signed it, yes.
You forged her name to the check.
Yes, I signed it.
She didn't turn you in, did she?
No.
When did you tell your grandmother exactly how much you wrote out this check for?
Afterwards, she confronted me about it later. I figured she already knew because I'd called her. And
when did you leave your grandmother's house?
Late January, early February of 2004.
Tell me about that.
She was in Palm Springs, and we were having troubles. Every time I'd come home, it was Justin, 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 and I'm just trying to get by.
Justin, 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 what?
She would confront me about, you need to do more, you need to do more, you need to pay more, and it's like, I'm trying. And what we agreed upon was making at least the minimum as long as there wasn't a negative mark.
Well, you hadn't paid anything, Justin. You showed me what you paid. You hadn't been paying anything. Not a minimum, not anything, for months.
I had also done work for her, which she agreed upon.
So tell me about that, Justin.
Well, she was complaining about the lawn. I offered, you know, Grandma, since I'm not able to get you as much, I could do the lawn for you. I could have it done in one day.
Try not to look at the walls, Justin. Try to look at me when you're testifying.
I'm just recalling, Your Honor.
Well, try to recall while you're looking at me.
Okay. Well, I was trying to find ways.
No, you're right. Are you cross-eyed?
No.
Then look at me.
I was trying to get the balance covered and stuff, and I knew I was getting close to missing more. And I went to
right here, Justin.
I went to a friend. I was just overlooking this.
You don't have to look at anything. Tell the truth. You should be able to remember it.
I am.
Good.
And I went and purchased a bunch of sod. My buddy had come over too, Chris.
What month was this in, Justin?
I don't remember the exact month.
Well,
it was like July or August.
Of what year?
Of 03.
I want you to think about whether it was July or August of 03.
I just remember it was a really hot day.
And what you're telling me, Justin, is you had fallen behind in the payments.
I was coming close to, yes.
But previous to that, you had made the payments.
Yes.
How many payments had you made previous to that?
Well, I'd given her bigger amounts of money, like $200, $250. One time she wrote, well, I gave her the checks. And
so that was before you were doing the landscaping?
Yes.
All right, now let me explain something to you, Justin, my dear. According to what you just said to me, and I want to make sure that I'm getting this right, Officer Byrd, Justin says that he did some work for his grandmother in order to pay off his debt to her. Some landscaping work in July or August of 2003. He said that previous to that, he had been up to date in his payments. That's what you said.
Yes.
That's what he said. My problem with that, Officer Byrd, could you just take a look at this check and tell me the date of the check of his grandmother's for $3,500?
7/10/2003.
So what you're telling me, Justin, is before your grandmother gave you this check for $3,500 in mid-July of 2003, you started paying the credit card company back? Is that what you're telling me?
I made a plural mistake, yes.
You made a big mistake! Because you may be trying to get over on me that something's wrong with your grandmother's mind, but I got news for you. Nothing is wrong with mine, and certainly nothing is wrong with Officer Petrie Hawkins Byrd. So when somebody lends you money and someone extends themselves, puts money on a credit card so that you can have a clean slate, because that's what your grandmother did, you don't turn around and kick them in the behind by standing there and telling a whole bunch of lies. Do I make myself clear?
Yes.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,200. That's all. Get out.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I'm not mad at my grandson. I'm hoping this will help him to mature and be responsible for himself.
I tried being good with my grandma. I did have problems.
The world doesn't owe you a living. You've got to pay your way.
Trying to look like a saint who got screwed.
I hope that it helps him to mature and be responsible for himself.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Perry versus Bartle. Step forward.
Homemaker Lynn Perry is suing Travis and Michelle Bartle for the cost of vet bills. Lynn says Michelle's 12-year-old son, Matthew Fry, beat on her cat with a stick.
Miss Perry, Mr. and Mrs. Bartle's son injured your cat with a stick. Yes. And you want them to pay the vet bills. And Mr. and Mrs. Bartle seem to say it was the cat's fault because the cat was out running loose and the cat should not have been running loose. That's your defense, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
You, over here.
Have a seat up here, okay?
So, you watch me. Don't take your eyes off me for a second. Your son told you the following story, which I gather from your answer, that he was riding down the street at his grandmother's house, and a dog was chasing him in the middle of the street.
Yes, ma'am.
And he had a stick, and he accidentally hit the cat.
That's what he told me.
And that's what you believe.
He told me that the bike hit the cat, and then the stick hit the cat, too, yeah.
Oh. Now, your cat was seriously injured.
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of a cat is it?
She's actually a mutt. She's pure white, one blue eye, one gray eye, 16 years old.
Managed to get through 16 years before she met this young man?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of injuries did she have?
She's lost some sight in her left eye, and she was bleeding from her nose and her mouth when the incident happened.
So she was hit in the face with a stick?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Now, you want to tell me how you hit this cat with the stick?
Yes, ma'am.
And I want to hear the truth from you.
Yes, ma'am.
You say yes, ma'am. You make sure you believe yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Lynn Perry says 12-year-old Matthew Fry beat on her pet cat with a stick. Matthew claims it was an accident.
You have photographs of the cat?
I do.
I'd like to.
This one's
So
2
far, you're
years
doing
ago.
very well.
This
Don't take
one's-
your eyes off me.
This one's 2 years ago. She's fat and healthy. This one's current.
2 years ago. Current.
Big white cat.
She was a big white cat. She was about over 20 pounds 2 years ago. Currently, she's about 6.5 pounds.
You're 12 years old?
Yes.
Do you do okay in school?
Yeah.
When did you go to your grandmother's house that day, Matthew?
We went over there that morning.
Who went over there?
Me and my 2 sisters.
Now, there came a point at some time that you were outside on your bike.
Yeah.
Who were you riding with, yourself or with your sisters?
I was by myself. It was after I took my sisters to their friends.
And about how far was that? A block, 2 blocks?
About a block.
Did you have any trouble taking your sisters over to their friend's house?
No.
Did you have any trouble coming back? Look at me.
The dog.
Look at me.
I was getting chased by the dog.
Oh,
on the
that's
way
what
to
you
my
just
friends.
a dog. Was it a big dog?
It was a bulldog. It was about up to my knees.
And where did that big bulldog start to chase you, Matthew?
Right as the stop sign after I was coming down the hill, I was going to turn down and go down the hill, and it started chasing me.
And you didn't get off your bike from the time the bulldog started to chase you until the time you hit the cat. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you tell me when you got this stick. Is not an answer. Look right here.
I left with the stick from my grandma's.
You did?
Yes.
Why would you leave carrying a stick?
The dog was chasing me.
No.
The
The dog didn't start chasing you until you got to a stop sign, Matthew.
Yeah, from my sister's friend's house.
That's not what you told me. You told me that the dog started to chase you when you were making a turn at a stop sign.
Yes, ma'am. Or right as I take the right turn, he started chasing me.
Right, and you didn't get off the bike. So if the dog was chasing you, and I asked you, when did you get this big stick?
before I left the house.
Why would you start carrying a stick on your bicycle?
Because he's bit me before, and I didn't want to get bit again. And
Matthew, I don't believe you.
My mom was...
Matthew, I don't believe you. You may have told that story to your mother and father about the big dog chasing you and the stick, but I don't believe it. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you want to tell me how you hit this cat with the stick?
Yes, ma'am.
And I want to hear the truth from you.
Yes, ma'am.
You say yes, ma'am. You make sure you believe yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
I was riding down the hill with the stick in my hand because that's when the dog was chasing me.
Yeah, how big a stick was it?
It was a broomstick.
A broomstick?
Broke in half.
Go ahead.
I was riding down through there, and I was looking back. That's the time that the dog was chasing me. And I kept on looking back, and he wasn't there. And I turned around. I didn't know what it was until I hit it. And I saw that it was a cat. I really didn't mean to, but no.
I still don't know how it got hit in the face with the stick.
I was riding down through there, and it was in the middle of the road. And I looked back, and I looked forward, and I hit it. And
with the stick?
Yes, ma'am.
Baloney. Go sit down. It's not true. It's not the way it happened.
Well, he told me that he hit the cat with the bike and then the stick, and the bike has freestyle pegs on the front.
He was lying to you. He's a fibber. I had 10 grandchildren. Most of them ride bicycles. None of them ride a bicycle carrying a broomstick. None of them. And I raised 5 children. None of them ride their bicycle that they're supposed to hold on to with 2 hands, carrying a broomstick in one hand, unless they're looking for trouble. You got me?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand? Yes, ma'am. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
They may have believed you momentarily. Maybe they still do. I don't believe you, Matthew. You're not supposed to hurt a living thing, ever. And if a dog was chasing you, you don't take your bike out. You stay at your grandmother's house. And if it was chasing you when you took your sister to their friend's house, stay at the friend's house and call your grandmother. And call your mother and say, I'm afraid to go home because this big bulldog is chasing me.
Yes,
you understand?
Yes,
that's why I don't believe you. All they're asking for is their vet bills. You're lucky. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $605.01. That's all. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Excuse me, ladies. Shh. Yeah, this is case number 519 on the calendar in the matter of Vadvilovich versus Cash. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You're welcome. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Ms. Vadvilovich, the defendant is your former boyfriend. You say he owes you money for a car down payment and a cruise. He says he doesn't owe you any money. As a matter of fact, you owe him money. You damaged his car. You had a hissy fit. You had an accident with a car that he's being held liable for it. So after a very short relationship, each of you claimed the other owes them in excess of $5,000. So let's start with you. When did you first meet him, and when did you make the first loan?
I first met Mr. Cash the end of January 2004.
And when did you make the first loan, and what was it for?
The first loan was made at the end of February for down payment on his, I believe it's an 01 Chevrolet Corvette Z06.
So you met him in January?
Yes.
February, you gave him money?
Correct.
That was pretty stupid.
Yes, it was.
Okay. Tell me about how that came about.
We both had a mutual love of vehicles, of cars, and he had talked about his ultimate dream car was a yellow Corvette. And he called me one day and he said, oh my God, there's one at a dealership. It's a used car. It's a great deal, blah, blah, blah. And just was in a lather about it. And he wanted to borrow the money. And he convinced me that it was a good deal. He was in a panic that this car was going to go. He said somebody else was looking at the vehicle and he needed the money right away, and so on and so on. So I went down to the dealership and I wrote a check to the agency with the understanding that it was a loan.
Just a second. Don't tell me what the understanding. You wrote a check for how much?
$4,000.
And what did Mr. Cash tell you with regard to repaying this money?
He was supposed to...
Now, what did he say?
He said that he would pay it back eventually. We were in a relationship. He had me convinced that he was a good guy. Basically, what I found is that he was a predator. I found him, at that time,
it was $4,000, and he says, "Listen to me," and he said to you, "I'll pay you back eventually." That was in February of 2004.
Correct.
Between February 2004 and July 2004, did he make any payments on the $4,000?
No.
So then, in July of 2004. Tell me what you did.
In July of 2004, we were at the auto club. He didn't have an auto club membership. He had just been canceled off of his ex-girlfriend's membership. And so at the time we were at the auto club, they were also had billboards about cruises. And he's like, "Oh, it would be so great to go on a cruise," and convinced me to go on a cruise, and let's put a down payment on a cruise. And instead of doing the inexpensive cruise, he wanted to go to the 7-day Mexican Riviera cruise. And at that point, he put $500 on his credit card. Well, it's an ATM credit card. And then I gave him a check for that amount to cover the down payment.
You have your canceled check to him for that?
Yes.
I'd like to see it.
It was bundled into this. He borrowed the full amount.
It was bundled.
Is there any reason why you didn't list these other amounts as loans in your complaint?
Well, if I were to actually total up everything that I loaned Mr. Cash over the 8 months that we were together, it's in excess of $20,000.
Shh. Do you have the checks to show?
Yes.
Just give me some examples, please.
I paid his mortgage twice. Let's see, I paid for, the ones that are written to the DMV are actually for, he would convince me, I left my checkbook at home when we went to the DMV, and he had to go and register all his vehicles. This is the check for the balance of the cruise that he deposited, and he proceeded to say that his mom was very, very ill. The very next day, he cancels the cruise, keeps the money, and buys an air conditioner for his friend's house because he's in a wannabe rock band. And
to go no further.
Okay.
Mr. Cash.
Yes, Your Honor.
What was all this money for, sir?
The money was basically, we agreed approximately in February of 2004 I was going to purchase a Corvette. She actually offered to make the down payment for the Corvette for me.
I'm talking about all this money, sir.
All the money in total?
I'm talking about all this money.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. Thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
Basically, she bought a Mustang from me, a Ford Mustang, and then had me customize the Ford Mustang, because customizing cars is my hobby.
Just a second. She bought a Ford Mustang when?
On approximately March 19th of 04.
March of 2004.
Correct.
At that time, you already owed her a considerable amount of money.
No, Your Honor. No, because what happened is we agreed in February that this arrangement would happen. She took possession of the car on March 19th of 04. Also, she purchased other cars, which she was going to have me customize, also do repairs to her house.
I'm not interested,
so all the checks
I'm not interested in repairs for that. So what you're telling me is these checks, thousands and thousands of dollars, represent automobiles that she purchased from you.
Amongst other things, I bailed her out of jail. There was lots of things that the money went toward.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I have an estimate for...
Don't give me an estimate. I'm not interested in an estimate.
Those are the
What do you think, I'm stupid?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Ann Vadvilovich says ex-boyfriend David Cash owes for a loan to buy the car of his dreams and for a share of a cruise.
Now, let's deal with the cars first.
Sure.
How much did she purchase the Mustang for, sir?
She purchased the Mustang for approximately, at the time...
No, look at me.
I'm looking at you.
I don't want to hear approximately. Okay. I want to hear, if you make a sale, because that's what you do, what amount did you sell her the Mustang for?
I sold it for $12,000.
$12,000.
Plus a trade in the difference of the balance of what the car was actually worth, which was the difference in the checks. So in other words, the car was worth $17,000 at the time. I took $12,000 as one cash check, plus other checks to make up that balance. Those are the other checks that you are seeing, is for the difference. So the total was $17,000.
When did you deliver the title to her?
I'm not exactly sure of the date, but I...
Give me the month and year, sir.
Oh, I have the exact date. I'm sorry. Because she had an accident the same day. It was March 19th. It was the same day. That was March 19th that she took.
Then I assume she had paid for the car.
Not in full.
How much did she owe?
Probably about $4,000 still.
And despite the fact that she owed approximately $4,000 on the car, Mr. Cash, you gave her the registration. And did you have a bill of sale?
I had a bill of sale. I do have a copy of that.
I'd like to see it.
Sure.
Excuse me if I may.
Shh. Just a second.
All right.
And, Your Honor, I also have the receipt.
Shh. This says the car was purchased for $12,000, sir, on March 19th.
Correct.
That's what this says.
Correct.
According to you, she paid off that amount. The only thing she didn't pay off as of March 19th was $4,000. That's what you say. That's what you just told me. Is that correct, sir?
That is what I just told you, yes.
And I assume you wouldn't tell that to me unless it was true. Is that right?
That's correct. The difference
I'm
is
speaking.
the agreement. Sorry?
Sir, subsequent to the 19th of March, she gave you checks totaling in excess of $16,700.
It's possible. I don't know the amount of the check.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. I've examined the endorsements on each of those checks, sir. And that doesn't even include the registration for some cars that she made out to DMV. I'm talking about just the checks made out to you and or cashed by you, made out to cash. That's almost $17,000, sir. So you want to explain that to me? And I don't want to hear anything about working around the house. Did you sell her any other property that you have a bill of sale for?
Yeah,
Show me.
I did. Okay.
Show me.
What I have done for 2 cars, I have the receipts that I paid for the merchandise, for the carts that she bought for the Jeep, which was part of the arrangement. I also have receipts for the Ford Mustang, for all the customizing work and parts I bought, the shipping for the parts, many of those items on that.
Good. Let's take the Mustang. I want you to go over all those bills, and I want you to give me an idea, Mr. Cash, of how much you spent on customizing this car for the plaintiff.
I have one receipt right here for $1,664.
$1,664. Good.
Right.
What's next?
I have another receipt for $274.27.
Go ahead.
$136.
Go ahead.
And I have an estimate.
Don't give me an estimate. I'm not interested in an estimate.
Those are the
What do
only-
you think, I'm stupid?
Those are the only receipts that I have.
Giving you the benefit of all doubt, sir, that's $2,000. What are we doing with the other $15,000, sir?
Well, there.
Well is not an answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Show me a bill of sale or bills.
I have
You kept some.
receipts for the Jeep.
Who owns the Jeep?
She owns the Jeep.
How much the bills on the Jeep?
This one is $11.50.
$11. Shh, please.
This one is $534.97.
Okay.
This one's $45.
Go ahead.
$240.22.
Go ahead.
$45.52.
Go ahead.
$111.32. $27.04. $138.53. $100. $46.54.
Go ahead.
$117.98. $2.15.
Go ahead.
Those are the only receipts that I kept.
So that
I have.
amounts to, and my quick math would, looking at it, say it's another $1,500. On the Mustang, I'm giving you the benefit of every doubt, sir. We have $2,000, $3,500, $16,700 minus $3,500 equals $13,200. You have any other bills that you want to attribute to her other than work you did around the house, sir? The answer is either yes or no.
We have items that the checks went for trips that we shared.
No, I don't want to hear that.
Okay.
No.
And I have a receipt for when I had bailed her out of jail on an arrest she had.
Okay, good. How much did it cost you to bail her out, sir?
It was $3,000.
Equals $10,200.
I also paid on my credit card kennel fees for when her.
I'm not interested in that.
But that was part
I'm
of the
not
money.
interested in kennel fees. Now, from that $10,200, I'm also giving you the benefit of every doubt, sir. I'm taking off $4,000 that you say she still owed you on the car. Okay. Right? $6,200. Giving you benefit of the doubt for every single thing that you say. So, what else?
The rest was for the labor to get the things on the cars done, and for labor that I've done around the house for her, for repairing $2,000.
Forget labor.
That was
She's
our
going to
arrangement.
tell me about labor.
That was our agreement. And I had never asked for money. This was never a loan. These were just pay. I've never asked, give me money, I'm going to loan you something, or to pay. There was no arrangements, there was no terms. This was entirely, if something was done, here's a check for it. Everything was great until all of a sudden she was upset that she couldn't be with me in a relationship. When that one happened, she got upset. She started breaking into my house. I have police reports that attest to that. I have audio tape that attests to the problems that went on like that. And part of my suit is where she drove into my car in retaliation and damaged the car.
No,
That's
the
a
major
separate
part
issue.
of your counterclaim is that she had an accident in the Mustang before you gave her title to the car.
No, it was the day. She had the accident the day that she took possession of the car, Your Honor. That's one part of it. The other part was my vet. She actually drove into the back of the car on purpose in the driveway.
No, I'm not talking about that yet, sir.
Sure.
I'm talking about your counterclaim is for $5,000. You say that she tried to get entrance to your house. That was $200, and it'll cost another $1,500 to fix your Corvette, but you're suing her for $5,000, and that is because you say she had an accident in the Mustang, and you're being held liable for that.
That's correct.
Didn't you have insurance on the Mustang?
No, because I was not operating the car prior to giving her possession.
Well, that's your problem, sir.
Well,
that is, listen to me. That's your problem. She can't get insurance. She had no insurable interest in the car until you turned over the title to her. So, what else?
Let's see what else we have. The damage to the driving into my car. She broke into.
Just a second. Did you damage his car?
No.
Tell me what happened to your car.
What happened is that she came to my house wanting. It happened twice. The first time was on September 5th of '04. Where she forced her way into the home. She broke through a front window of the house to gain entrance. I was inside. She came to the door. I told her I wasn't interested in having her over. She broke through the window. So there was a repair to the window. I called 911, had the sheriffs respond to that. I believe I do have reports.
What did she want at that time? Did she tell you?
She was ranting and raving.
What did she want, sir? What did she say to you?
It was incoherent. I don't even know why she was there.
What were you saying to him?
I was telling him that the way he was treating me was unfair. I told him that I felt that it was very wrong of him to allow me to
That's not what you... Listen to me. What were you going over there to discuss with him? The fact that he was treating you shabbily?
Shabbily, yes.
Oh, okay.
And for the record, I did not break into the house.
Just a second. That's what she came over for. He didn't want to see you. You should have left. You got it?
Correct. Yes.
Doesn't want to see you. You leave. So September 5th, she was complaining in a very loud fashion that you were treating her shabbily. I assume you had cut off contact at that point.
I had attempted. In fact, I went and filed a restraining order. And then again, on 10 of '04, this happened again, where she forced way into the house, took items from my house, including much of the paperwork that I can't present to you today for the balance of the check, keys to another vehicle of mine, which the next day showed up stolen. I had filed a police report on that, and in the police report...
Were you present in the house when she came in?
I had actually barricaded myself in the house.
Oh, how did she... Just a minute. How did she get in and take all this property
She forced her way through the front door.
Okay. And go ahead, continue.
So I actually called the sheriff. The sheriffs that came out, had a restraining order on file. She had left numerous messages on my answering machine, all after the restraining order, which I have in the police report on file as well, attesting to those things.
Get to the damage to your Corvette, sir.
The damage to the Corvette. What happened is she left the house when the sheriffs asked her to leave the house.
On what day?
This was on 10 October of '04.
Okay.
And the sheriffs escorted her off the property. She drove back in her one of her cars, and my Corvette was parked in the driveway. And I was sitting out the window watching, and she drove into the back of the Corvette on purpose with her truck.
Do you have a copy of the police report on that, sir?
I believe I do.
I'd like to see it.
Okay. Actually, it doesn't list the Corvette in the report.
Well, let me see it, sir. If you bought this yellow Corvette, which I assume is the car you're talking about, car of your dreams, car that you really wanted to have.
It's just another car.
And if this is the car that you say she caused in excess of $1,000 worth of damage to, you would have reported that to the police when they came out.
I do. There's another report. I don't have that report with me. There's so many police reports. The sheriff told me they weren't even going to write.
Sir, you show me reports where you say she called you when she came to your house and spoke to your roommate, Mr. Martinez, that she said she had to see you. But if somebody caused physical damage to my car...
That's just one. I have another car in the driveway that she keyed alongside. I had one truck that she's stolen. Anything she could do to be vindictive to me.
Did she ever ask you for this money that she says you owed her?
No. No, not until at the end.
This is the first time she's asked you for the money?
Actually, that is not correct. At the end, she told me that when I wouldn't get back together with her, that I'm going to take you to court, that I'm going to get this money out of you. And
get this money out of you, or get this money that you owe me that I thought we were going to be
get this
in a
money
relationship?
out of you because I do not owe her money.
Yeah, judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. You counterclaims dismissed. That's all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 554 on the calendar in the matter of Suplee versus Starr. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Gentlemen, have a seat, please.
Mrs. Suplee, the defendant used to be your son's girlfriend.
Yes.
Son?
Yes.
And she lived in your home for a while, according to what I read in your complaint, or stayed there?
Yes.
And she also had a drug problem. You didn't know that, I assume, at the time.
I was not aware of that.
Your complaint alleges that over a period of time, the defendant stole items from your home and pawned them.
That's correct.
You managed to get some of the things back.
That's correct.
2 items you did not, a bracelet and a video camera.
That's
you want her
correct.
to pay for those things. Ms. Starr says that she took care of everything she stole. She got it back for you. She doesn't know anything about this bracelet or the video camera. That's your defense.
That's right.
What kind of drugs were you addicted to, Ms. Starr?
Prescription Xanax.
But you were getting it from means other than being prescribed by a doctor.
Right. I was getting it through a friend.
How long had you been addicted to Xanax?
It had been going on for about 3 months.
When were you staying at the Suplee home?
It was around last year.
When was she staying at your home?
July and August.
How did you discover the missing items?
Well, I had had minor surgery on the 2nd of September. I did not wear my jewelry that week. So the week after that, I believe it was the 13th, is when I went into my jewelry box to get these 2 rings to wear, and they weren't there. And I got very upset, and I went and woke my son up and my husband up and told them that I could not be late for work. I asked them to
see them, please?
To look around to see if they could locate them, and I left for work.
This was the 2nd week in September?
Yes. When I got to work, my husband called me and said that him and my son had found some pawn tickets in Courtney's purse. Courtney was in jail at the time. She had been arrested that weekend for a DUI. And so they went through her purse and found these pawn tickets in her purse where she had used a false ID and signed a false name on these pawn tickets, and she had taken my rings and a bunch of my other jewelry, which I didn't realize until I talked to my husband. When I called him, it dawned on me that my diamond bracelet and my opal and sapphire ring and my Guan peso earrings were not in there, so I asked him to check in my jewelry box and see if those were there as well, and he looked and he said they were not there. And when he went to the pawn shop and asked them about the ring, they just kind of looked at each other like they knew what he was talking about, but they weren't going to say anything.
You Mr. Suplee.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what happened when you went to the pawn shop.
The first couple I went to didn't really tell me much because in Texas you can't really discuss a pawned item. So I went to the third one, and this is the one where they kind of looked at each other, and I asked to speak to the manager, and he came out from the back, and apparently on this particular item, the large diamond ring, she didn't pawn it, she sold it.
How much did she sell it for?
$35.
How many items in total did you ultimately get back from the pawn shops?
I don't know the total number that we got back. I know that we got back everything but 2.
And you got them back because her grandmother intervened, is that right?
That's correct.
You contacted her grandmother?
Well, actually, I called her mother, and I told her mother that we were going to file charges against her for taking these items, and her mother said that she had kicked her out of the house and to do whatever we had to do. So we went down the next day and filed a police report, and I do have the police report here.
May I see? Go ahead.
So then her grandmother called me at work and asked me what was going on, and I told her basically that Courtney had stolen some jewelry from our home and that I wanted the jewelry back, and that we had filed a police report against her, and if we didn't get the jewelry back that we were going to prosecute her. So she called and talked to him.
What did she say?
She said she had discussed it with Courtney's mother and Courtney, and that she was going to go ahead and help Courtney out and apparently loan her some money.
Good. That's how you got the stuff back.
Yes, ma'am.
What didn't you get back?
We did not get back my gold peso bracelet and a video camera.
Is that a Sony video camera?
No, this is not a Sony video camera. It's a Sharp.
Did you get back a Sony video camera?
No, that was not ours. She's pawned.
Where did you get the Sony video camera?
Sony video camera?
Yeah, that you pawned.
I didn't know that there was a Sony video camera.
So it's possible that you were not in complete control of your senses at all times when you took this property and you stole from more homes than one.
True.
Mm-hmm. All right. You weren't missing binoculars, were you?
Well, not that I know of, but these were the rest of my jewelry that she pawned that we got back.
I'll take a
in
look
addition to the rings.
But I see here binoculars, DVD movies, Black & Decker hedge cutter.
We did not realize those were even gone until we went to the pawn shop, and those were there. Only then did we realize that those had been taken.
Okay. All right, Miss Starr. I'm going to listen. Do you have anything to say to me?
I remember taking the jewelry, all the jewelry.
When did you take the jewelry?
It was spread out. It was like an everyday thing. It happened. It went on for a month.
So you mean each day you would go and take something else?
Mm-hmm. Just so I could go get more Xanax.
Where else did you steal from?
I also stole from my own family.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She has a mother, she has a grandmother. Didn't it strike you, young man, that if she wasn't welcome in her mother's house and her grandmother's house, that there might be something wrong with her?
And later today,
your oldest son had been in the Marines. He came back from the Marines and tragically he committed suicide.
Yes, ma'am.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Gwendolyn Suplee says her son's ex-girlfriend, Courtney Starr, stole her jewelry and video camera and pawned them for drugs.
How much is the gold bracelet worth?
The gold bracelet we bought 15 years ago when we went on a trip to Cancun. So since it was 15 years ago, I do not have a receipt for it, but it was $650. I have pictures of me wearing it.
Can I see it, please?
Yes.
What's the son's name?
James.
James, you're going to take your father's place, please. James, you have a drug problem?
No.
Did you?
No.
Did you know that Miss Starr had a drug problem?
Well, I did in time. So we realized this was going on, and I realized that it was a problem.
I'm talking about before that.
No.
Before the jewelry episode.
No.
Had no clue?
Mm-mm.
Really?
Yeah.
How long had you been together?
Oh, about 6 months.
Why did you invite her to your house?
Well, things were going pretty good, and after she started staying and spending a lot of time with me, she had lost her job, and she just kind of fell off the edge, and stuff started going downhill.
I don't know what that means.
She lost her job. We started having problems. She didn't have any money, and that's when I realized that something funny was going on. That's when I decided to check her purse for the pawn tickets, right after my mom realized that the jewelry was missing.
That doesn't answer my question, James. If you're dating somebody for 6 months, you don't invite them to come to your house to stay. She has a mother, she has a grandmother. Didn't it strike you, young man, that if she wasn't welcome in her mother's house and her grandmother's house, that there might be something wrong with her?
Yeah, I mean, she's welcome at her mother's and her grandmother's house. It was...
James, what do you do?
I'm a human resource manager.
How old are you?
25.
Where do you live?
Lake Dallas, Texas.
Do you live at home?
Yes.
Not anymore.
I just recently moved out a few weeks ago.
Who do you live with?
2 roommates.
Perfect. That'll help him grow up. It's time. Time he wasn't tethered to your side. Do you have any other children home?
No, I do not.
Yes! When did you buy the video camera?
We bought the video camera in 1979. Here is the receipt for the video camera.
Can I see it, please?
It came from Fry Electronics.
You have receipts from 1979. You are one organized lady.
I did not. I had to call them up, and we had to get them to mail it to us. I did not have it.
Gwen.
Huh?
It wasn't 1979.
What year was it?
Well, it'll say on the receipt, but it wasn't 79.
Okay.
$382, is that it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so let's go back. $1,060. I hope that that completes the debt. I hope that you didn't take any property from anybody else. You're off the stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Working?
Mm-hmm.
Where?
I am a photo tech at Walmart.
Okay, fine. Where are you living?
My parents.
Getting along all right?
Yes, I've cleaned up a lot.
How old are you?
I'm 20.
Well, so you have another 60 years to go. So you have 60 years to do it right. First couple of years weren't so hot. Make sure the last 60 are better.
Right.
Good. Judgment for the plaintiff for the amount of $1,060. Thank you.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I've just had a rough life. I guess it's because of my childhood.
It hurt. It hurt a lot.
I've learned to shape my life up, quit doing drugs.
We don't hate her. We don't like what she did, but we don't hate her.
I knew I needed to change.
I try to have some understanding for the fact that there was drugs involved and maybe she wasn't in her right mind. But at the same time, you make your own bed.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Daniels versus Sizemore. Step forward, please.
Homemaker Tammy Daniels is suing her ex-husband, factory worker George Sizemore, for his share of their son's funeral expenses. George says Tammy didn't consult him regarding the arrangements.
Miss Daniels, the defendant is your former husband. You have 2 children together, or had 2 children together?
Yes, ma'am.
Your oldest son had been in the Marines.
Yes, ma'am.
Where was he stationed?
He was in Paris Island, and then he went to Camp Lejeune, South Carolina.
He came back from the Marines, and tragically, he committed suicide.
Yes,
When
ma'am.
was that?
It was in Louisville, Kentucky.
When?
On July the 17th, 2004.
It is your claim that your former husband agreed to pay for half of certain funeral expenses, and he did not.
Yes.
That's what you're suing him for.
Yes, ma'am.
And your former husband says that he was not consulted with regard to things that you purchased, certain flowers, memorial stone, and he's not paying for it.
Yes, sir, ma'am.
Okay. When did you make the arrangement, Mrs. Daniels, with Mr. Sizemore to pay certain of the funeral expenses?
My son died on July the 17th. My ex-husband come to my house. That was on a Saturday. My ex-husband come to my house on a Sunday with my husband and my son and my sister, and a few of my other family members was there, and we discussed the flowers. He helped pick out the flowers. We had a meeting Saturday when I found out my son died. We had to go to Grayson's funeral home, and we had to pick out the funeral service, the casket, and everything. It totaled up that day to be, just for the funeral service, $5,998.70.
What was the discussion about the flowers?
He agreed to pay half of them
That's what I want to know. He agreed to pay for half?
Yes, ma'am.
And how much were the flowers?
The flowers was $225.
And what else did he agree to pay for?
He agreed to pay half of the gravesite.
How much was the gravesite?
$400.
Who paid for that?
Me and my husband.
What else did he agree to pay for half of?
He agreed to pay half for the headstone.
Who picked out the headstone?
My sons.
Did Mr. Sizemore have any input in the headstone?
Yes, I called him that Saturday morning when we were going to look for the headstone and asked him if him and Mary would meet us up at the monument, and he said that he couldn't make it. I said, George, are you going to help me with our son's headstone and the money you owe us? And he said, I don't have the effing money.
I'm going to hear you, Mr. Sizemore.
Okay. To start out with, yes, we started looking at the flowers on that Sunday. You know,
Okay.
I did agree to pay half of the flowers for the flowers. As far as the gravesite went, yes, the funeral director did say it was going to be an additional $400. And I said that was fine with me. You know, it started out, I'd wanted him buried.
Just a second. So you agreed to pay for half the gravesite?
Yes, ma'am, I did. Yes, I did.
All right, fine.
Okay, and during the time that we were setting up the funeral arrangements and the graves and all that, I was asked that, you know, we were asked where did we want him buried. I wanted him buried in my family area. Okay, her sister and her spoke up and said, well, we want him close to our mom, which is fine if he'd been buried there. My son is buried in a public cemetery by himself. You know, I didn't agree to that site.
Why is that, Ms. Daniels?
My son is buried where the spots was open, and it's right down from my mom. And
just a minute. Is there any reason why, if he wasn't buried in the same plot as your family, that he wasn't buried in Mr. Sizemore's family's plot?
He lives about 6 miles from where we live. He has to come through Charlestown to go to Otisco. He goes by my son's grave every day. That was right there where everybody could go and visit my son.
Okay, fine, that's a reason. That's a reason. Okay, so far, Mr. Sizemore, I see that you owe your former wife $312 for the expenses that you agreed to pay half for and did not. I don't know about the tombstone because I haven't heard an agreement to pay for half of that.
As far as the headstone goes, they called and asked me about, meeting and getting it. And I told them that the only requirement that I actually asked for on that is that it be black granite. Time prior, before my son passed away, we'd talk about things like it because, I'm getting older. And he's always telling me,
How old are you?
42. Okay.
When you're 42, you don't think about what color granite you want on your gravesite.
I do. Life's too fast to worry about, think about things like that. But anyways, to go on, I said the only thing that really requires that be black granite, and with him being in the military, he's very proud of that. I wanted that. I wanted something with his battalion or whatever. And I said, I will not pay over $1,000 for my half of this headstone.
Okay, so how much was that stone?
The headstone totaled out to $3,745.
Okay. So he already told you that he wasn't going to pay for more than $1,000?
No, he did not. He told me he would pay half when I talked to him on the phone.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Was the stone that you selected black granite?
Yes, ma'am.
Is black granite?
He's never been there to see.
Ma'am, I cannot go up there. My family's gone. I said, yeah. So as far as I know, it is, yes.
Okay, well, then you got half of what you wanted because I assume it doesn't say anything about the military. Is that right?
Ma'am, I don't know.
Yes, it does. This guy's military picture on it.
So it has his military picture on it. So you got your black granite and you got his picture on it.
Okay.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you got to pay $1,000 for it. That's what you said. Let's say that that's what you said, that you were going to pay $1,000 for it. So that's $1,312. Look, Miss Daniels, when somebody dies prematurely like this, anger is a much easier emotion to deal with than loss and sorrow. Don't be angry. Don't be angry at her. The fact that your son isn't buried in a place that you would have preferred.
I'm not angry with her.
So don't be angry.
I'm not.
You have to sort of put a period, take care of this responsibility.
Yes, ma'am.
And look forward. Don't say anything else. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Montgomery. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Gentlemen, have seats, please.
Ms. Yoakum, you and the defendant had a relationship which is no longer, and it is your claim that Mr. Montgomery owes you for half a trip that you took together to California. And in addition, there is still a remaining balance that he owes you on some bail money that you wired for him, which allowed his get-out-of-jail-almost-free card. Mr. Montgomery says that the trip to California that you took was a gift, and that while he does acknowledge that you posted bail for him at one point, he says he's paid you the entire $500 back. Is that right, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So, tell me about this trip to California. When did you take it, and what were the circumstances?
Your Honor, Mr. Montgomery in August had offered to take me on vacation for my birthday, which is September 9th. Offered to pay for it with the check for vacation that he had been anticipated on receiving.
I don't know. Ms. Yoakum, listen to me. There are certain things that ring true.
Right.
Boyfriends say, I want to take you on a vacation. Let's go on a vacation.
Right.
Great. Where do you want to go? I want to go to
California.
California. Boyfriend doesn't say, I'm going to pay for it with a check that I'm going to get from my job when I left and my... That you don't discuss.
At that point in time, I was not able to afford to go. And
so let's go back a little bit. It's August, and you discussed going on a vacation.
Yes.
Tell me where you were when you first started to discuss going on the vacation.
We were at my home discussing going on vacation for my birthday. He had told me that he was going to pay for the entire trip from a vacation check from his former employer.
Tell me how he said that to you.
I said, you know, I can't afford to go on this trip right now.
So he didn't say to you, I want to take you on a trip for your birthday.
Yes, he did.
Shh. Miss Yoakum, listen to me carefully. If he said, I want to take you on a trip for your birthday, then you wouldn't have had any discussion with him about, I can't pay for it now. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Don't fudge the truth. The truth may be in all that you need. But when I ask you what was said, you're going to tell me exactly what was said. Because if he said to you, I'm taking you away for your birthday, your response would not have been, I can't afford to go now. Because that wouldn't have been a logical response. Logical response would have been, oh, great. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Right.
Okay, now let's go. Let me hear your version.
What happened is she wanted to go away for a weekend. It was Labor Day weekend, and I had a long weekend off at work. Now, since I had a long weekend off at work, she said, let's go get away, and we're trying to decide where to go. I said, well, I don't have any money on me. I didn't have much money. I just started work at a job closer to her home. And I did get a check right before I went. I said, well, I have a check before I go. All I'll have is spending money. She said, don't worry about it. I'll purchase the tickets. I'll get the hotel wherever we're going to stay and take what money you have and use that for spending money, which I did.
And you went away Labor Day weekend?
Yes.
Yes, I have the receipts for the amounts charged on my credit card.
Let me see. What's Tiffany and Company?
Jewelry store.
I know what it is. What'd you buy there?
I bought a necklace.
For who?
Me.
Well, why is that here?
I just highlighted everything because he had told me he was taking me and he would pay for everything.
No, dear. You don't get it. The only thing I don't see here really is restaurants. Only one restaurant.
We took a large sum of money. I withdrew over $500. He had the $400 from his check and then an additional $200 that I withdrew from my ATM.
Okay, just a minute. So he had $400 that he took with him?
Yes.
That he spent?
And I also had money that I took. I didn't feel that he should pay for, you know, if I wanted any, like, souvenirs.
Necklaces. Shh. Okay. Mr. Montgomery, when you came back from this vacation, were you working, sir?
Yes.
What kind of job were you working at?
I was at a car dealership.
So why didn't you start paying her for at least part of this trip, your airline tickets and the rental car?
Every paycheck I got, I gave her $300 here, $400 there. I gave her plenty of money.
Were you living together?
Yes, we were.
How long did you live together?
5 months.
Is that right?
5 months.
August 5th. I do have a record of every time.
Just tell me how long you lived together.
August 5th.
To when?
Or, I'm sorry, about August 5th to December 5th.
Okay. And he would give you money every month? Or every week from his paycheck?
He gave me a little bit here and there. I wrote down every amount that he's ever given me.
Let me see it. Byrd.
And I gave it to him when...
Let me see it. What, I missed something. I missed something.
Oh, yes.
What did I miss? What did he say? A couple of months, 3, but like that? What did he do? No, I really want to know.
Okay. It was 5, but I forgot. I only got 4 fingers on his hand.
Right.
So.
And then he switched up, and it was...
I know I missed something.
It was a moment.
All right, let's get to the bail. Oh. Why were you arrested, sir?
From a previous relationship, a crazy ex-girlfriend. Going through some problems. It had nothing pertaining to do with us.
So you were arrested on an assault charge or domestic violence?
It was a home invasion charge.
I have that right here. If you'd like.
When we got back from California,
can I take a look at it?
She went and bought a wedding dress. She wanted to get married that soon. She went and purchased a wedding dress.
Mr. Montgomery, I'm talking about your arrest. You're talking to me about wedding veils. Did these two things have anything to do with each other?
No.
Good. And if you thought that you were going to get me off track just because of my age, you are not going to be successful, sir. What was the date that you posted this bond?
The date of the bond was, it was 3 days before Thanksgiving, right before Thanksgiving, like a week
November,
before,
sir, and you separated...
It was in November, yes.
November. You separated shortly thereafter in December.
Yes, I was at work, and she came to my work at 8 o'clock at night in the freezing cold.
Whatever.
With all my belongings.
With a wedding
Here,
dress.
Go out.
Okay. How much did he pay you back?
He paid me $220.
Okay. So far, I am satisfied that he owes you $280 for the bond. I'm not so sure about the trip.
He actually asked.
I would like you to tell me why it was that after 5 months living together, you chose to evict him in the fashion that you did.
We had a lot of arguments, and frankly, he scared me. His ex-girlfriend had brought him in on domestic violence charges.
And you thought this was the safest way of dealing
I thought
with
it was the safest way. I had my friend with me. I wasn't.
So you were afraid of him?
I was afraid. He made 2 death threats to me.
You were afraid of him?
Yes.
Well, then my question is, and I know that this will sound a little naive to you, if you were afraid of him, why did you subsequently decide to have any contact with him?
He told me he would pay me back before Christmas so that I would have money.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you? If you're really afraid of somebody and you fear for your life, why would you sue somebody for a couple of bucks if you got them out of your life and they were gone, so that you would have contact with them again, even if it's only briefly?
Your Honor, because I have PPO papers prepared and ready to go as soon as I get home.
What's PPO?
Personal protection order.
Why would you bother with that, though? My question is, why would you bother?
Because I've been in contact with his ex-girlfriend. I know what he's like. I know
Just a minute. What contact have you had with him since he left in December?
I haven't spoken to him.
So he hasn't... Shh. You haven't spoken to him? He hasn't called you?
He kept calling me until the 20th of December.
So several months went by and it's no contact. So why do you have an application ready for a protective order?
Because I'm being called as a witness in his felony trial.
Being called in his felony trial by his ex-girlfriend as a witness?
Yes.
So you got together with the ex-girlfriend?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
I did try to contact her, and she refused to sign.
Just a minute. What do you want?
She was harassing me.
I didn't. I'm not looking at you.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Cindy Yoakum says ex-boyfriend Andrew Montgomery owes for bail money and for a trip to California. Andrew says it was her idea to take the trip.
It sounds to me as if you want nothing more to do with him and wanted to sever all ties and just get on with your life, you certainly complicated it, and that was your own doing.
Yes, I realize that.
Good. So it was very foolish. She owes you $280 for the bail. The trip, hope you enjoyed it. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He's got a history of using women. I thought she might help me out.
She went and bought a wedding dress. Right after we got back from California, wanted to get married. I wasn't ready to get married, and I didn't want to get married to her.
Let me see, he's asked me to marry him, he's asked his ex-girlfriend to marry him, and the one before that. He basically takes whoever's got the most money and uses them for whatever he can get.
She contacted me after she booted me out, after she kicked me out, left me in the cold. She called me, had me come up and visit her 3 different times.
He's got home invasion charges. Why am I the person that is the bad person in this case?
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of DeCuckoo versus Carr. Step forward, please.
19-year-old spa attendant Teresa DeCuckoo is suing her ex-roommate, 20-year-old spa attendant Carol Carr, for breaking a lease. Carol says she gave proper notice.
According to your complaint, Mr. Cuckoo, you and the defendant leased an apartment together. You've been friends for a long time. You thought it would work out. After a couple of months, the defendant moved out.
That's correct, Your Honor.
And you want her to be responsible for her half of the rent for the remainder of the lease so that it doesn't destroy your credit.
That's correct.
Defendant said she thought she was being more than fair. She had to move out. And she says you should get another roommate. When did you sign this lease?
July 14th, 2002.
What was the rent?
The rent was $925. $512.50 was her responsibility.
Are you still there?
No, I'm not.
You're not?
No,
What
I'm not.
happened?
I moved back in with my mother.
When?
At the end of October.
Did they re-rent the apartment?
I am not sure, Your Honor.
Well, have you gotten any notifications from the landlord with regard to rent that the landlord
Yes,
claims
I
you
do.
owe? Let me see.
This is my 30-day notice to vacate the apartment.
I'm talking about after you left.
After I left,
Because according to the defendant paid the rent, gave you a check for rent for September. She moved out September 1st, but she gave you her share of September's rent. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you don't dispute that, is that right?
No, I don't.
Okay. And you moved out the end of October. So we have October's rent.
Right.
Right? Which, based upon what you tell me, is $512.50 would be her share of October's rent up until the time you moved out, and you're suing her for $2,800.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so you're going to have to explain that to me.
Yes. Right. These are the payments I made, and because it's for the lease break and everything. That's right when I moved out. That was the payment agreement from the landlord.
The fees that she was charged to break the lease were $1,836, Ms. Carr.
Yes.
Half of $1,836 is $918. I want you to explain to me why you should not be responsible for $918.
Okay, I gave my 30 days notice like required in the lease contract.
Your
If I
Honor,
needed
that
to
isn't
move
true.
out.
I don't want to hear you unless I come back and look at you. Do you understand?
Yes.
So
No. Pay careful attention to me.
Mm-hmm.
You show me your lease, which says that if you give them 30 days notice, you're allowed to break your lease with no consequence by giving them 30 days notice.
I have where it says the 30 days notice section right here.
What does it say? Read it.
Full term unless owner consents in writing, residence agrees not to move out of the apartment prior to the end of the lease term or renewal of the extension period without the rentals of the entire lease term or renewal or extension period being
Ms. Carr,
paid in
you know
full.
what that means? It means that if the owner agrees, the owner, did the owner agree that you move out?
I gave them my written notice. They didn't argue with me.
Ms. Carr, you don't get it. A lease means that if you pay your rent and are a good tenant, the landlord can't throw you out for 12 months. And it means that you are responsible for the rent for 12 months. Just if you decide in the middle of the lease that you don't want to live there anymore, you just can't give them 30 days notice and move out.
Well, I had a bad car accident
That's
at
not
the
her
beginning
problem.
of the month, and that's why.
That's not her problem. That's your problem.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You have to be a grown-up. Your first responsibility was you signed a lease with somebody else. Somebody else that could not afford the apartment by themselves. So if it's a toss-up between you putting money towards a new car and moving back with your parents so that you can pay for the car and living up to your pre-existing responsibility, you have to live up to your pre-existing responsibility. That's a grown-up. You do, however, have to accept your part of the responsibility, which is you had a roommate. It didn't work out. She moved out for whatever reason. You couldn't live there by yourself. It's a very good lesson. You don't take an apartment with a roommate for more rent than you can pay by yourself, the whole thing. Because otherwise you have to move out and you have these fees. She's not going to pay the whole fee, only half. Do you understand?
I actually have other expenses that has incurred while she was there.
Like what?
I have a copy of a couple of utility bills that she refused to pay for.
Can I say a comment about that? Actually, I paid half of the cable and the power. She never gave me a copy of the phone bill. Claimed I could get it at Sprint.com, but without any account number, I can't access it.
Is this a phone bill?
It's a phone bill and a power bill, Your Honor.
Is this 10346?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, is that for September?
That's for 3 months total.
Up through September 25th?
Yes.
Sprint bill, power bill was $38.75, and that was date to next meter reading October 16th, so that was through September. No. She's not responsible for the power bill. $969. Ladies, it's too bad your friendship is over.
Your Honor, I have one more thing.
Which is?
I did try to contact her,
Which
and
is
she
what?
refused to sign. She refused
Well, she was
contact.
harassed.
Just a minute. What do you want?
She was harassing me.
I didn't. I'm not looking at you. So?
She had refused a letter I sent to her house.
So what?
Saying her statements.
So what? What does that have to do with what I'm talking about now?
Nothing.
Good.
But, excuse me, I also have one more thing.
What?
My moving costs. that I had to vacate the apartment with.
That's your problem. Your moving costs are your problem. Sometimes when you take a roommate and things don't work out, you have to move. You think that she's going to pay your moving expenses?
At least half.
Get a roommate. I said you don't have to. You shouldn't be forced to get a roommate if you don't want to, but because you chose not to get another roommate or try to get another roommate and chose to move out, you incurred certain expenses. She's responsible for half of your break lease expenses because she did in fact break the lease. So did you. $969 is what she owes you. That's all. Step out.
Parties are excused. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have seats, please.
Mr. Ladd, according to what I've read, sir, you went into a tavern and you had half a dozen beers, maybe 4 or 5, ordered a large pizza to go, and as you were exiting the tavern, there was some sort of an altercation with the defendant. Then you claim outside he assaulted you seriously. Is that right?
That's correct.
His ultimate defense is there was some sort of a verbal altercation. You bet him $20 that you could whip his butt, and you did. That's your defense. So that it was a fair fight outside. That's your defense.
It was a fair
that you
fight.
won the bet.
No, I haven't been paid.
That was cute, Mr. Lindquist. We'll see. All right, Mr. Ladd, had you ever seen this gentleman before?
Just as a patron of the bar,
What time did you arrive at the bar?
approximately 7 o'clock,
And what time did this assault take place?
9:30.
So you were there for about 2.5 hours.
That's correct.
So what happened when they give you your pizza, you pay your tab, and you start to walk out?
Well, it's very busy as I'm going through the crowd. Supposedly, I bumped in to his girlfriend, which was sitting on a bar stool in the aisleway to go out the door. Supposedly, Mr. Lindquist confronted me about...
Not supposedly. Listen, stop with the supposedly. You tell me what you remember of that evening.
I remember
Did you,
Mr.
did you
Lindquist
remember
confronting
poking
me.
her with the box, with the pizza box?
I don't recall that because it was so busy. I probably bumped several people basically going through the crowd.
Okay.
There was a small aisleway to walk through.
What did he say to you?
I can't recall his exact words, but he confronted me about poking his girlfriend with the pizza box. He threatened me with ripping my throat out.
That's a threat. Go ahead.
At that point there, I exchanged words of the mouth, so I told him to back off, and there was some adjectives that were basically said.
By you?
Yes.
Okay. And did you continue to leave?
At that point, yes, I did.
He hadn't put his hands on you at that point?
No.
You walk out the front door. How far did you get? Was there a parking lot outside?
I was parked on the far end. This is a strip mall.
And were you at your car when this assault took place?
No, I was walking down the sidewalk.
And tell me what you recall.
What I recall is being hit in the back of the head, very hard. I thought it was a beer bottle. I have a medical report.
Then what happened? I'll look at all your reports in a minute.
I was on the ground. The defendant was on top of me. He struck me several times in the side of the head. I put my hands up, tried to defend myself. That's when the individual basically bit on to my right finger. As the individual was biting me, with the pain and the shock and everything else, I was grabbing his face, trying to make him to stop.
But you were on the ground?
That is correct, with him on top of me.
Go ahead.
At that point, somebody, if I recall, yelled that the police are coming. The individual let go of my finger at that point and struck me several other times in the side of the head again and got up and ran into the bar.
What happened when the police arrived?
Because this was a bar brawl, from what they call it, they stated if I wanted to press charges on the incident. At first, I said, yes, I do. The individual, which was the officer, explained to me that because there was no witnesses and this was mutual combatant and their part of what they considered.
Why, had they interviewed the defendant?
Well, there was another police officer inside the restaurant interviewing him.
Okay, go ahead.
They stated that they would have to put us in detox for 72 hours.
Because you were drunk?
I was not drunk at the time. I have my witness which will state how much alcohol I consumed within the 2.5 hours to my body weight of 225 pounds at 6'2".
How many beers did you have?
I believe it was 4.
Okay.
The officer stated that to the fact that he would have to charge both of us with assault.
So that you decided not to proceed?
Because of the 72 hours, I am an instrumentation and control specialist in a nuclear generating power plant. I was scheduled to run certain tests. I could not afford not to be there.
So you decided not to press
That
charges?
is correct.
Okay. Can I see your medical reports, please?
Sure.
When did you go to the hospital?
My sister-in-law picked me up that night.
These are my medical records. Would you like the expenses also now?
Not yet. Did you get any police reports?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to have them too, please. Thank you, Byrd. Now I'd like to hear your version of the events.
Well, Mr. Ladd was walking out of the bar.
What time did you arrive at the bar?
9 p.m.
Your girlfriend was with you?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I asked him, "Are you leaving so soon?" And he had said yes, and unless Kathy will buy me a beer, as he had his pizza box and poked her in the back. And didn't like what he was doing, and I says for him to stop that. He made a foul-mouthed remark that I don't care to repeat.
Well, repeat it.
He said he effed her in the and not to worry about it.
Right.
And that's when I made the comment that I'll bet you 20 bucks that I'll take you outside and kick your butt. And he walked around the corner and stood where the waitresses stand and motioned me like, "Well, come on, are we going to do this?" And I followed him around, and he walked down.
Why did you do that? He's gone. He's leaving.
He's motioning me and egging me on, and he had bet me.
No, no, no. He didn't bet you. You bet him.
Well, he agreed to the bet.
Go ahead.
Got out the door, walked down the... He walked down at least 50 feet.
Right, so he's leaving.
He's leaving.
And his back is towards you.
No.
Well, his back has to be towards you, sir, unless he was walking backwards.
No, he was making remarks as
his back has to be towards you as he's walking, sir,
he
because...
was turned sideways.
So he's walking sideways, like a crane.
Walking sideways, talking to me.
All right, go ahead.
Saying bad words. He sets his pizza box down and invites me on, "Are we going to get this done?" When we first came together, he reached out and he grabbed me by the face as we were standing face to face, shoulder to shoulder. And
you weren't standing shoulder to shoulder to him, with him?
No, I wasn't. But
no, you weren't standing
square shoulder to shoulder, square shoulders to square shoulders. Reached out, grabbed me by the face.
Why? Why?
I don't know. I just imagine that to be face to face.
Well.
Face to neck. Go ahead.
And he kind of grabbed my face to where I couldn't really get near him. We were going to fight. He grabbed inside my mouth and underneath my chin and started pulling me to the ground. And whether I bit him or he got cut on my teeth on the way down, I just happened to come out on top.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Nuclear power plant worker Scott Ladd says he was assaulted by Del Lindquist after exchanging words with him in a bar. Del says when Scott insulted his girlfriend, he beat him up.
Which one of you ladies was present during the course of this altercation?
I was.
Can you step up, please? Tell me your name.
My name is Lisa.
Lisa what?
Lisa Tyson.
Miss Tyson, do you work at the tavern?
Yes, I do.
What kind of work do you do there?
I'm a bartender.
You know both of these gentlemen?
Yes, I do.
You ever had any difficulty with the plaintiff at the bar?
No, I haven't.
You ever had any problem with the defendant before at the bar?
Yes, I have. I've witnessed him making verbal remarks to other customers that would talk to his girlfriend.
Like what?
He told this other guy who was talking to his girlfriend that he wanted to rip his throat out.
He likes to say that. Clearly.
I guess. But then I immediately went over there and confronted the situation, and I warned Del that if he decided to fight in the bar or in the parking lot, he will be 86'd out of the bar for good.
Did you hear any interaction between the two of these gentlemen?
No, I didn't.
Did you wait on Mr. Ladd that evening?
Yes, I did.
Do you recall how much alcohol he consumed?
He had about 4 beers.
Have a seat. Thank you very much. Do you have any other witnesses that you want me to hear, sir?
Yes, I do. I'd like to have the manager of the bar step up.
Tell me your name.
Deb Miles.
Miss Miles, did you witness any part of this incident?
I was not outside. I did not see that. I was chatting with Kathy, Dell's girlfriend, and another gal.
This is girlfriend.
Right. Next thing I knew, a waitress from the dining room came out and said that there was a fight going on outside.
So you really didn't see anything?
I did not see that, no.
What did you want her to testify to?
I don't want to testify for her, but Kathy, Dell's girlfriend, knew nothing of this incident, she can support that claim for me.
Oh,
just
a second. Did you ask her what they were doing outside?
I asked her if she knew they were outside.
And what did she say?
She said no. And then she wanted to go outside. And I said, no, you have to stay in here, Kathy. You've been drinking. Don't go out there. Just stay out of it.
Was she drunk?
She did quite a few, in my opinion. I didn't personally serve her, so I don't know for sure.
Did she say anything about anybody doing anything untoward to her that evening?
No, no. We were just chatting, and the next thing we knew, this fight was going on. So we didn't hear any argument, anything like that.
Step up. What's your last name?
Dubé.
What do you remember?
I didn't see nothing outside, but I do remember him walking by.
He walked by, and what happened?
He said to him, leaving so early, he said, yes, I've had too much to drink. I'm going to take my pizza and me home. Unless Kathy wants to buy me a drink, poke me in the back. And it was real crowded. And I was talking to the manager, Michelle, on the right hand of me, and Debbie was down a chair from me.
Right.
And then I just started talking to Michelle, and then all of a sudden I heard him telling him to quit poking me in the back, and then as he was walking away, that's when he said what he did to me.
Which was?
I don't want to say it.
Well, I'd like to hear what you
I just
heard
heard
him
it.
say. Really, though, that's a nasty thing to say.
Yeah.
Did you think he was drunk?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Were you drunk?
No, I probably had 3 beers.
3 beers in a half hour?
2.
Maybe 3?
I just got there.
Well, maybe 3 beers in a half hour. And what about Mr. Lindquist? What did he have to drink?
We probably had 2.
Maybe 3. Well, the officer indicates that both suspects were intoxicated, and the effects of alcohol was very obvious on both of them.
Can I make a comment related to that?
Sure.
After being struck in the head several times and with what I believe with a beer bottle.
Did you see a beer bottle, by the way, when this altercation was over?
I did not know.
Okay. So it's possible that you were just hit on the back of the head with a fist. It's possible.
That's possible.
Doesn't make any difference. The medical records indicate that you were injured that evening.
I don't want to interrupt you, but with the injury I sustained in my finger, and the shock and the trauma and everything that was going on, if the officer smelled alcohol on my breath, was establishing 4 beers over a 2.5-hour period.
Doesn't make any difference, sir. I have to believe, Mr. Ladd, that the defendant, without provocation, assaulted you, and without provocation, rendered you, because of your larger stature, rendered you sort of in a position where he could, in fact, assault you, which was somehow getting you to the ground, because you are a larger stature than he is, and that would be smart. Now, being smart would render you on the ground as a result of being either hit on the back of the head with a fist or with something else. Not the way Mr. Lindquist indicates, because the officer nowhere in his report, sir, indicates that you have any scratches or marks on your face. That's really surprising if this assault took place, Mr. Lindquist, the way you indicated.
I have a police report that states that I have scratches.
Let me see. Suspect 1 had minor scratches or scrapes on his face. Suspect 2 possessed open wounds on his fingers and a slight laceration to his forehead. Mr. Lindquist, did you ever hear the expression when you were growing up, sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you've had trouble with people talking to your girlfriend before in the bar, according to the bar people?
Yes, Your Honor.
So this isn't an unusual occurrence to you. If you don't want people to talk to your girlfriend, sir, keep her in your apartment. Because if you take her to a bar where people sometimes get a little high, a little happy, and they may say something either in a polite vein or in a seductive vein, or sometimes, according to you, totally inappropriate things. If I believe what you attribute to him, it was totally inappropriate. But the reaction, especially if you know or believe that someone is intoxicated, you believed he was intoxicated, right, Kathy?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yes.
Then you just let it rest. Then I have to believe that he egged you on. Well, I don't believe that at all. I believe that the guy's taking his pizza and he's going home. He's out of there. You decided to follow him outside, which you did. And I believe that in order to get him in a vulnerable position, you hit him from behind.
In the forehead.
You hit him from behind. If you hit him from behind in the forehead, that's sort of like that. That doesn't happen, does it? You know,
Only
you saw
in the movies.
Only in the movies. Only if you have very long arms. So you assaulted him, and you hurt him, and you have to pay. Period. And if you can't hold your liquor, don't drink. What were your medical expenses, sir?
I have a report. I do have insurance.
What's your out-of-pocket?
My out-of-pocket is $526.44. They have me on prescriptions yet, anti-inflammatories, to try to still get the swelling down in my finger. At this point...
Can I see your finger, please? Step up. You still have no feeling in the finger?
The finger is totally numb to light touch. The medical report is...
Step back.
I'm sorry.
May I add something, Your Honor?
Just a minute, he's not finished yet. Then you can add whatever you like.
Okay.
You still have no feeling in the tips of your finger.
That's correct. I have lost the movement of to totally squeeze my fingers all together. The doctor last I seen said if the swelling goes down over time and with these prescriptions, that it may go back.
Okay. Yes, now you wanted to say something.
Well, if I would jump him from behind, isn't that assault and battery? Wouldn't, you know, if I'm walking out in the parking lot and somebody jumps me from behind and the police come, I think I'm going to make a report or have him arrested, you know, because people...
Sure, unless you're inside with the other police officer who you spoke to that evening. Is that right?
Yes.
And I assume you gave him the same cock and bull story you gave me. The way you indicated that you were standing shoulder to shoulder to him and he put his fingers in your face, and so that's how you bit his finger.
He set his pizza box down first.
What?
He set his pizza box down first. And if somebody got jumped from behind, don't you think there'd be pizza all over the place, too?
There might be. Where is there an indication that there wasn't? Where is there an indication
Wouldn't you think he'd want to be paid for his pizza, too?
Are you kidding me or what?
No, I'm not kidding you. I'd be mad if
You
somebody...
got a hot temper.
If somebody knocked me down from behind and knocked my $20 pizza on the ground at the same time, and the police showed up, I would definitely file some charges here.
Well, he wanted to file charges, sir, but you told the police that this was a fight, a barroom brawl, that he actually started with you. He actually put his hands on you first. That's what you told me.
That is
That you
correct.
turned around, shoulder to shoulder, after you followed him out of the bar, and he took his hand and put it in your face, and probably as a result of the heavy pushing, he fell on top of you, and that's how he ended up on the ground, and probably on the weight of you both going down and his finger in your mouth, that's how his finger got lacerated, requiring medical treatment and stitches. That's what you told me.
Yeah, I grabbed his
Judgment for the
finger.
plaintiff in the amount of $5,000 as requested. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may 2:20 on the calendar in the matter of Sansing versus Hobson. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Okay, who's going to speak for the Hobson family?
Me.
Who are you?
Her daughter-in-law, Veronica Hobson.
What do you have to do with this case?
I'm the one who verbally told her that we needed the room by October 1st.
Why don't you have a seat? And who are you?
I'm Ellen's son. I'm also a defendant in this case.
Sit down. Sit down. Miss Sampson, you rented a room from the defendant, is that correct?
Yes.
When did you rent a room from her?
12/15 of '99 until August 10th, maybe the 15th of 2000.
And it was a month-to-month tenancy, is that right?
Yes.
How much was your rent?
$500 a month.
What you are suing for is really an illegal eviction. You're suing for harassment, pain and suffering, and the return of your deposit. You say she didn't give you sufficient notice when she told you to leave, causing you all kinds of stress, and she did not return your security.
Also the overpayment also for the month of August. I felt that I was forced to move before the end of the August, so I'm also asking for that too. The prorated amount from the 15th of August to the end.
Somebody's counterclaiming here for some nonsense about ruining a birthday party. I'll hear about that later. Ms. Hobson indicates in her answer that there came a time, sometime in May, that you indicated to her that you would be moving out. Is that correct?
No, it is not.
Did you ever have a conversation with her indicating that you would be moving out?
Not in the month of May.
When?
In the month of July 4th weekend.
I'd like you to tell me what the conversation was.
That my boyfriend and I would be, he would be buying a home and we would try to live together before we got married. that I would probably be moving by the 1st of the year.
Had you had any difficulty prior to that?
No, never.
So everything was fine?
As far, yes.
Okay. You were a good tenant. She was a reasonable landlord. You paid your rent on time?
Yes.
Okay. So there came a time when she told you you had to leave.
Right.
Tell me about that.
The daughter-in-law came to me on August 9th and had said that I needed to be out by August or October 1st.
By 10/1?
10/1, yes. And I asked her why, and she said I didn't supply some papers for a daycare, which are not in any writing. This is a verbal.
It said what?
Supply papers for a daycare that she was opening up, and for, I guess, the state to check me out. So I asked her, okay, well, you know, whatever the reason is, I just would like it in writing. She thought that I was having an attitude because I asked for me to leave in writing. And at that time, then from there on, it just got crazy.
Well, tell me about how crazy it got.
I went outside to talk to Ellen, and at the time I asked her, you know, about them asking me to move and why she didn't confront me and ask me to move and why was she leaving it to the daughter-in-law. We had an argument there, so I went back in.
Tell me about the argument.
Just about things that I had done. I left a bowl in the sink, that I didn't supply these papers, this and that. And it was just, it's not true. The stuff that they're saying was not true. So I turned and I left, and the next day when I came home from work, there was this letter here.
That was on the 10th of August?
Yes, the next day. It was underneath the door. This is actually a second letter that was left. The first letter, when I was outside waiting for the police to come, they switched the letters. But anyway, that's the letter that she left me with my 30-day notice. When I read the letter, I went out, she was outside, and I walked outside and I had told her, you know, I thought that this is ridiculous, but whatever your reasons are, I will move. I also told her that I felt like I was being harassed, and at that time I may seek some kind of illegal advice. She got just so upset, and I turned away, I walked around and went in the room. At that time, her and Veronica forced their way into the room. They either kicked it or they punched the door in. At that time, I got on the phone because they were saying that they were going to throw me out right then and there with all my belongings. And so I called the police. I went outside to wait for the police. It took a couple hours. And so I left that night. The police told me to leave and come back later on that night and get some things. When I came back that night, all of them were making physical threats, and even Veronica, while I was waiting for the police, was trying to provoke a fight, like walking on the back of my legs right behind me, telling me her husband's going to beat me up, they're going to do things.
This is Veronica?
Yes.
Okay.
Her husband's going to beat me up, they're going to do things to my car and stuff. When I came back that night, then all three of them were jumping in on the bandwagon.
Do they all live there?
Yes, they do.
And they've always lived there?
Yes.
And you never had any problem with them before?
Never. I think I was so upset at the beginning of all this because I couldn't really understand why they were actually behaving like this.
Okay. So you moved out, and you did not receive your security deposit back?
I did not receive my security deposit back.
And how much was the security deposit?
It was $500.
And you were fully paid for the month of August?
Yes.
Okay.
I also have police reports here for that. I also went back on Friday because I was afraid of the things that they were actually going to do things to my belongings. I went back. I took time off from work on Friday. I went to the home. It was about 11:30. And the locks were changed. The locks that I were given were changed. I couldn't get in, so I sat down. The police told me to call if I couldn't get in, so I did. And while I was waiting for the police, Ellen came outside and said that she wasn't letting me in because I didn't lock the door the night before. And then she left in the car with Veronica's baby. And then about 10 minutes after that, the police came, and here's the police report that they even that they noticed that I could not get into the home. So then I came back on Saturday afternoon. I called the police. They met me there. And I have the police officer's cards that actually were there while I was packing my things for 30 minutes. I guess this is why she was having her party, which I didn't know she was having a party. And they even wrote on the back of the card that they kept the peace during eviction while I packed some of my belongings. And these are the officers that were there the first night when they...
I'm reading.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, now I'll hear you.
Okay, it's true. She came to me in May and said that she was moving, that she'd be moving in about 2 or 3 months.
Right, go ahead.
Veronica asked her to get the documents that she spoke about.
What kind of documents?
For Veronica to have a daycare center, we all have to be fingerprinted and TB tested. It was 2 days after that she told me she was actually going to be moving. So we started making arrangements for the room. My daughter was talking about moving back in. She's going back to college. She needed to come
Which
home.
daughter?
My daughter, Elizabeth.
Okay.
Also, one of Veronica's aunts was considering moving to Southern California so that she could help with the daycare.
Mm-hmm.
We had made these arrangements. It was all set. One or the other was going to be moving in.
When?
At the end of September.
Okay.
Darcy came to me and said, I won't be able to move. My boyfriend hasn't found a home, so I'm going to be staying till the end of the year.
Okay.
We had to tell her that this was impossible because we'd already made other arrangements for the room.
Okay.
At that point, she went a little crazy.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Is what you're telling me, Miss Hobson, that she was still living in your home on the 17th of August?
She had
Don't be a Swiftie with me, madam.
She had moved all her belongings except a TV that she did not want.
Don't be a Swiftie, madam.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Darcy Sansing claims landlords Ellen, Veronica, and Jeffrey Hobson unlawfully evicted her because they wanted to run a daycare business out of their home.
Go ahead.
And she started cursing, calling names, calling Veronica names. She asked for a written 30-day notice. We gave her that.
Right, but you locked her out.
No, we
Before
did not,
the 30
Your Honor.
days, according to the police. According to the police report, couldn't get in.
This is not true, Your Honor.
Why would the police lie?
There are 2 locks.
Your Honor, I
Why
have...
didn't-
I'm sorry.
Why would the police lie in their report?
She probably did not give them the second key. There are 2 keys to the door. There's a top lock and a bottom lock. Because Darcy had a habit of going out of the home and never locking the security lock, we have to lock the bottom lock.
Right.
She did not give them the key for the bottom lock.
So you didn't lock her out?
No, we still to this date have not changed the lock.
Okay, now how many times were the police called to the premises on or about the 9th or 10th of August?
She had them there on the 9th. She had them there on the 10th, the 11th.
Why do you think she had them there?
She was trying to harass us.
No.
She was very upset about
Just a
us not
second.
allowing her to
Who
stay till
told
the end of
you?
the year.
Who told you you should leave that day or the next day?
Who told me I should leave that day
Yeah,
to
in
leave for
August.
the night?
Yeah.
The police officers.
Did there come a time when either you or Veronica went into her room that evening?
No, no.
Yes.
We talked to her earlier in the day.
When I was on the phone with the police officer, they were getting a car over there to help. They actually asked me to turn around and tell them to leave the room because she could hear them in the background screaming, and then she physically got on the phone with Veronica and told her to leave the room. And
Did you speak to the police that evening?
Yes, ma'am.
Stand up. Where were you when you spoke to the police?
We were at the door of, we're in our hallway at the door of her room. That's
Okay,
where
that's
we were.
all. Sit down. Why didn't you return her security deposit?
I have it written here. I asked her to give me an address where I can mail it, and she, to this date, has not given me another address.
Okay, so you acknowledge that you owe her her security deposit.
She doesn't, she is not due the entire security deposit back.
Why?
Her notice was from the 9th of September through the 9th of August to the 9th of September, which means she owed another 9 days for the month of September.
She wasn't living there in September.
No, but her 30-day notice extended from
She had
August
to leave.
9th.
I find that there was sufficient harassment in the house that required her to leave.
You're on.
Shh. Do I look like I need help?
No, you don't.
You harassed her into moving. I don't know how much of this was due to the fact that you did not want to fill out forms for the county so that Veronica could have a daycare center in the house. I don't know how much of this bad feeling emanated from that, but certainly she was under no legal obligation to be fingerprinted and photographed in order to live in a room that you were renting to her. So she wasn't living there in September. She doesn't owe you any rent. Do I have...
No.
Do I look like I need your help or any more evidence on that issue?
No.
Your Honor,
And I find
have
that it was-
evidence that shows that she was not afraid, she was not being harassed. This is a note from her where she deliberately misspells our name, showing how upset she was. And if you'd like to read this.
Sure. Oh, well, it's clear to me, Ms. Hobson, that the plaintiff and your daughter-in-law, based upon this letter, have had unpleasantries passed between them. Clear to me. And she does talk in terms of harassment. And this was, in fact, written on the 9th of August. She's entitled to her full security deposit back. And she is also entitled to, if she paid you rent August 1st for the month of August, I find that she's entitled to that money back. And $500 security deposit. Where did you go when you moved out?
To a hotel for a month.
Okay.
I had to pay for storage fees, moving fees, a portable phone.
How much did you pay each night for the motel that you had to stay in?
Each night is different. The first night, I believe it was, I have it written down here. The first night I spent at a hotel was $62.70.
Yeah.
The next night I went to where I ended up staying, it was $67.99. Then I stayed at the hotel for 3 weeks, was $250 a week. I have the receipts here.
You don't have to show me the receipts.
Okay. My storage, I'm sorry.
I'm not interested in your storage.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I cannot believe that any person all of a sudden acts in a bizarre fashion for no reason unless they have a psychiatric breakdown.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Darcy Sansing claims landlords Ellen, Veronica, and Jeffrey Hobson owe her for an unlawful eviction. The Hobsons say they evicted Darcy because she threatened them.
Did you ever have any conversation with Veronica about this form that she wanted you to fill out when you didn't fill it out?
Yes, I did. She did tell me that she was going to be opening a daycare, and I told her that.
When?
It was before July 4th, maybe a couple days before, maybe in that same weekend.
When did she give you the paperwork?
She never did.
She never did?
No. She had just said that I was probably going to have to, and I told her I didn't have a problem with it at all. My sister is a foster parent, and I'm pretty sure that I'm already on their files. I've already been fingerprinted and stuff before, and that's what I had told her, so it wouldn't be a problem.
Okay. Now I'm going to deal with the counterclaim. Who wants to talk about this counterclaim for harassment for disturbing the birthday party?
I do.
I'll hear you.
First of all, I did go to Darcy and I did talk to her about moving out. It was not over the papers. When I approached her...
Would you please just tell me about the claim of harassment at a birthday party? That's your complaint.
My complaint is that she knew I was having a birthday party, and she came in the middle of it, brought the cops. I had to answer to my family, friends. I didn't have time to spend with my son on his birthday. I got ponies and bouncers and stuff like that. She came right smack in the middle of that, and I didn't get the time to enjoy it.
What do you think she came to the police for on that occasion? What do you think she was trying to do?
Oh, she was moving out her things. She
was moving out her things.
The only thing...
Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
She was moving out her things based upon statements that you made that you wanted her out.
Right.
Right. Sit down. You picked a bad time to tell her you wanted her out.
Your Honor.
Yes.
She also, on her complaint, uses the address, our address, so it shows that she was still there.
She was still there when, Ms. Hobson?
When she filed this complaint on 8/17, she is using our address.
She may not... Listen. Is what you're telling me that she was still there on the 17th of August?
She was still...
Just a second. Is what you're telling me, Ms. Hobson, that she was still living in your home on the 17th of August?
She was still using it as her address, yes. She had
Don't be a Swiftie with me, madam.
She had moved all her belongings except a TV that she did not want.
Don't be a Swiftie, madam.
She left a broken TV in the room for us to discard.
So what? You illegally and without just cause evicted her from her home where she had lived for 10 months on a month-to-month basis. The reason for that I will never understand, except that she clearly was not getting along with your daughter-in-law, because the harassment that she refers to in her letter to you involves harassment by your daughter-in-law. Now, I don't know about this baloney about moving October 1st and then moving that very day. I honestly don't know what precipitated that, but I cannot believe that any person who has had normal behavior for 10 months would opt to move their stuff out in the middle of the night into a motel room, to a $60 a night motel room, rather than stay in the comfort of a place that she's enjoyed for almost a year, unless she was being substantially harassed. I don't know why you did it, but it's clear to me that you or people acting under your authority did it, because she didn't all of a sudden overnight become a nut.
Yes, she did.
Yes, she did? Oh, no, I don't believe that.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I'm telling you, you harassed her into leaving. That's what I'm finding. You?
Well, you are wrong.
Or you? No, I don't believe so.
Your Honor, may
I don't
say
believe
something?
so. I don't believe that somebody, for no reason whatsoever, after 10 months of peaceful occupancy, all of a sudden acts in a bizarre fashion and puts themselves into a situation overnight where they are discommoded from that residence, put their stuff in storage and go to a motel for no reason unless they have a psychiatric breakdown. Now, I see no evidence of that, Ms. Hobson. I am going to find that her out-of-pocket money that you have that belongs to her is $750, $500 security deposit, and $250 for unused portion of the rent. And in addition, I find that she suffered damages the extent of $1,000 to enable her to reestablish a residence based upon the fact that you illegally evicted her. Total value that I am awarding to the plaintiff on her claim is $1,750. Now, as far as your counterclaim is concerned, for $1,500 for harassment and mental anguish by ruining your son's birthday party by having the police come, that's dismissed.
378 on the calendar in the matter of McPhillips versus Dunkel. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Ms. McPhillips, the defendant used to be your boyfriend.
Yes.
According to your complaint, he was arrested on a charge of assaulting another girlfriend.
Over there.
And you bailed him out.
Yes.
He says that you may have physically gone down to pay the bail, but it was not paid with your money, it was his aunt's money.
That's right.
Okay. When he was arrested, were you still dating?
Yes.
What date was he arrested?
May 25th.
And how did you find out that he was arrested?
His sister and her boyfriend called me at work and told me that they came to his house and arrested him.
And what did you do?
I left work and we went to his aunt's house, who then gave his sister money for his lawyer.
Oh, no.
And then her boyfriend gave another $200
Just a
for
sec.
his lawyer.
You went to an aunt's house?
Yes.
And at the aunt's house, you all picked up some money?
Yes.
How much money?
His aunt and her fiance gave $300, and Chris Maxey gave $200.
Chris is the boyfriend?
Of Dina, yes.
So that was $500 altogether?
Yes, for his lawyer.
But then he's still in jail, so what happened with his bail?
The next day, we went to a court hearing, and they said that his bail was $1,000.
And what did you do then?
Me and Dina and Chris all then went to my bank and took the money out of the bank. And then
Out of your bank?
Yes.
And you have proof of that?
I don't have my bank records because it was back in May, and I had $1,003.24 in the bank. And I took out the money, and so the account was closed. And I didn't think I needed proof because I assumed he would give it back like he said he would.
Miss McPhillips, that sounds like the most ridiculous answer. If you know you're suing somebody, and you know there's an issue, and you have bank statements that you receive each month, then that's the one piece of evidence that it would seem to me that you would bring.
It was back in May.
So what? We're not talking about 20 years ago. We're talking about 6 months ago.
And I didn't file the claim till November because that was when his court date was, and I didn't think that I needed the statement in May or I would have gotten one.
You get a statement from a bank every month.
Yes, but I don't keep them. And so I don't have the one from May. But I have the piece of paper saying that I am the one who gave the people the money that bailed him out. Why would I be suing him for money that wasn't mine?
We're going to find out in a minute. Go ahead, Mr. Dunkel.
Yeah, like she said, I was arrested. My sister and her boyfriend, Chris, were at my house when the police picked me up. I called my aunt that night from jail and told her they'll set my bail the next morning. She said, I asked her, if she could bail me out, and she said, sure, that's no problem.
That is a lie.
Well,
where's your aunt?
Where's
your aunt?
She's at home. She runs a home daycare. She wasn't able to be here. I have a statement here written from her.
I don't take statements written from witnesses.
Okay.
Where is your aunt's bank statement that shows me that she withdrew $1,000 from a bank?
She had it in cash. The next day, my bail was set for $1,000. My sister, Chris, and Brandy went to my aunt's house. My aunt gave them the money, $1,000 to bail me out of jail. They went to the police station. Brandy, Dina, and Chris went to the police station. I don't know why Brandy was entrusted the money to bail me out, probably because she was my girlfriend at the time. But she gave them the money, they gave them the bond receipt. So The bond receipt's in her name, so I think she's entitled to.
Okay, but if his aunt gave the money, then why wouldn't they have given it to Dina? She is his sister. When his aunt trusts Dina with the money?
Madam,
more than
you're
me?
not standing there in a very good place, because all you had to do to be successful today was to bring me a bank statement. That's all you had to do.
I didn't keep it. I didn't think I'd need it. I thought that he would pay me back like he told me he was going to.
But then you knew he was not going to pay you back, and you knew you were coming to court.
But I already didn't have
Listen
a statement.
to me. What do you mean you already didn't have a statement? You called the bank and you said, I need
The account
May's
was
statement.
closed, so they wouldn't give me a statement.
That's not true.
I
That's
did call the bank, and
What?
they wouldn't give me a statement since the account had been closed for 6 months.
Do you know that I don't believe that?
That's the truth.
All right, I'm going to hear your witnesses, because so far a lot of what you told me, sir, is hearsay. Who was present when the aunt turned over this $1,000? Step up. Tell me your name.
Dana Van Grunsven.
So, what happened?
Basically, we showed up at my aunt's house after we went to his court hearing, and my aunt handed Brandy the money and said...
That is a lie.
Shh.
And we got back in Chris's car. We went down there. Brandy ran out and paid for his bond.
What time was the bail hearing on the 26th?
At 9 o'clock.
Shh. And what time was he bailed out?
5 o'clock, around 5.
So you knew the exact date of the withdrawal. It had to be on the 26th of May.
It was around 1 o'clock in the afternoon because I had to wait for my friend who was living with me at the time to bring down my driver's license because they wouldn't let me withdraw the money out of the bank without my driver's license, even though my signature matched.
All right. I want you to do this. I want you to get the telephone number of the bank, get on the phone with the bank manager. You tell the bank manager that you are in court now. You would like them to research their record and just be able to tell the court, that's me, whether on the 26th of May of the year 2000 there was a $1,000 withdrawal from your savings account. Now, the two of you would agree that if there was $1,000 withdrawn from her savings account on the 26th, that would pretty much establish that you're lying, right?
Right.
So there's no issue with regard to that, right?
Unless it was pay your bills. I don't know. I got my aunt's phone number right here. You can call her and
Why
just
would
talk
I
to her.
want to believe
'Cause
your
there's
aunt
my-
over
that's
the
my prime
telephone?
witness. You know,
If
she
your
gave me the
prime
money.
witness is supposed to be here, sir,
Well,
you
she
would
went to
agree,
daycare, she
sir, since you weren't there, that if the bank manager, who I'm sure will be cooperative with me,
Okay. he
because
was cooperative
they're always cooperative with me, and he certainly is disinterested,
with you. Okay.
will tell me that she withdrew $1,000 from her account on the 26th, that would mean that you and all your relatives and all your friends are lying, right? And
Not necessarily.
Oh, yes.
Well,
of
why
course.
would they give you the
Of
bank
course.
statement and they wouldn't give their own, their own customer the bank statement?
Why? Because it's much harder to say no to me. Miss McPhillips, did you get the number?
Yes, I did.
May I have it, please? You sure you want to continue with this?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. All right. Yes, can I have extension 426, please? Thank you. Yes, this is Judge Judy Sheindlin. I'm calling because I'm in the midst of trying a case involving one of your clients, Miss McPhillips, Brandy McPhillips. And the main issue in the case revolves around a withdrawal made from her savings account on the 26th of May. Can you tell me if there was a withdrawal? There was. And that was the total amount of the withdrawal. Wonderful. Thank you very much. I appreciate your trouble. Bye-bye. I just love it when everybody's lying a little bit. Miss McPhillips, you did, in fact, make a withdrawal on that day.
$850.
Well, that's not what you told me initially. Miss
I tried
McPhillips,
to
just
tell
listen
you
to me.
that I had $150 cash,
No,
but you
Miss
didn't let me
McPhillips,
finish.
listen to me carefully. You didn't try to tell me anything. What you told me was you had $1,003 in your savings account. You withdrew $1,000, leaving you $3 left. That's what you told me. You didn't try to tell me anything else. However, you did withdraw on the 26th $850. And I'm looking at the bail receipt. The bail receipt, they're so smart. They list the denominations of the bills. 800s, 150. Then there is 110 and 720s. So we got to get it straight. You withdrew the $850. Now, where did you get the extra cash from?
I work at a bar on the weekends, and that was my tip money from the week before.
So how do you have tip money when you...
Don't speak to her! Liar, liar, pants on fire. Don't speak to her. You step up here.
Good.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a debt consolidation
You're what?
counselor. A debt counselor.
You're supposed to be honest when you're a debt counselor.
I am honest.
Not today, you weren't.
Yes, I am.
Oh, no, you weren't.
Yes, I am.
You were lying.
No, ma'am.
Oh, yes, you were. Because, you see, based upon the fib that you told me, you and Mr. Wonderful over here, you all went to the aunt's house, all of you, and you took Auntie's money, and you went and paid the bail with Auntie's money, and you just handed the money to her. It seems unreasonable and unfathomable why, with her boyfriend in jail, she would go and withdraw practically all the money she had in the bank, and then go out on a spending spree or decide to pay her bills from her savings account.
What, she can't take money out of her savings account to pay her bills?
Are you asking me a question?
Well,
Are you asking me a question?
no, I guess I'm not.
You sure aren't. Who do you work for?
Greater Nebraska Tree Service?
So you deal with trees.
Yes, I do.
Well, you don't always have to be honest with trees, but you should be honest if you're in debt
I'm honest here
consolidation.
today.
I am honest.
Let me tell you something. Not only I am aware of the fact that you are dishonest because you perjured yourself, but there'll be 10 million people who will agree with me. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,000. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Why? They were made fools of. They lied.
Never trust a woman.
Obviously, some people aren't worth trusting.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Flamini versus Warner. Step forward, please.
18-year-old telemarketer Makil Flamini is suing former landlord, 54-year-old homemaker Carol Warner for return of rent. Makil says Carol's compulsive behavior caused her to move.
Miss Flamini, you rented a room in the defendant's home. According to your complaint, you lived there for one day. Things were so intolerable, you moved out and you want your rent back.
Correct.
It's Miss Warner's contention that you had no basis to leave and she's not returning any of your money. So I have a few basic questions.
Okay.
How did you find the room to rent?
I met Carol through a friend of mine from school, and he introduced me to her, and I went over to her house. And when I first came into the house, I was like, I can't live here. But then I met her, and I really like Carol. I still really do.
All right. You met her through a friend.
Right.
You went to her house. According to you, the house was a mess.
Right. I have a picture.
The rent was $489 a month, according to your complaint.
Yes.
Plus doing some cleanup for her.
Right.
Okay. You have some photographs?
I have, a photograph of, you can see in the background what it kind of was like.
I can see everything. Okay. Very good. So you got to the house, and?
And later that night, it was Halloween, it was October 31st, we agreed on the phone that I would come back that night and we would start cleaning up the house. So I got back there and I tried to clean up. Like, I would pick up paper towel off the ground and throw it away, and she'd be like, no, you can't throw that away. I use that to clean the floor. And she'd make me wash my hands every time I touched a dirty dish. There was a piece of paper with the number 3 on it and like scribbles, and I crumpled it up to throw away, and she's like, you can't throw that away, that goes on this pile. And it was just, she wouldn't let me clean, and that was, our verbal agreement was I would live with her and help her clean up her house if she let me stay there.
Okay. Did you move in on the 31st of October?
I never moved anything in. I just stayed there to clean.
That night?
I stayed that night, yes.
Okay. And did you leave November 1st?
Yes.
Now, Miss Warner. Miss Warner.
I'm listening. I'm just surprised at her statement.
Okay. Had you previously, immediately previous to the plaintiff moving in with you, had you had a roommate?
I don't think so.
What do you mean you don't think so?
No, I did not.
The answer is you did not have a roommate.
Correct.
When was the last time you had a roommate?
Oh, maybe 6 months before then.
And she lived there for one day?
I think it was actually 2 days. Because the day that she came...
The day that she came was October 31st, which was the day she gave you the
she
check.
came the day before, Your Honor, with her friend, to look at the place and see if it was okay for her to live in.
But then she came and she slept there on October 31st.
Correct.
Correct?
Yes.
And she left November 1st.
I'm not sure of that either.
Well, if you're not sure, she said she was there one day, so I have to assume she's correct. So my question to you, Ms. Warner, is if it didn't work out, and you certainly didn't turn away any other boarders, why don't you give her back her $489?
Because I did turn away other people, Your Honor.
When did you turn people away?
Actually on the 30th, when she said, okay, I'm going to go to the bank with my friend, and she opened an account in order to use a West Hollywood address and to establish residence, as she herself said.
So what? I don't know what
Okay,
you're
I'm
talking
just
about,
giving
Ms.
you an
Warner.
answer.
All right, now we're talking a couple of months later. Do you have a roommate?
No, I do not.
Right. You have to give her back her money.
Why is that?
I'm going to tell you why. Okay. I don't want to go into all the reasons she says your house was a mess. Evidently, this was a young lady who wanted very badly to rent a room in your house because, according to both of you, she ran out and she said, no, I want to give you the check today because I really want this room.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
So there had to be a very good reason why, after one day of living with you, she said, this is not going to work.
Why don't you ask her what the reason is?
If you want me to, Miss Warner.
I'll ask her.
No, you don't have to ask her. I'll ask her. I ask the questions.
Okay, sorry.
I was trying to save you embarrassment.
I'm not embarrassed in the slightest, but she saw
So,
the
go
home
ahead.
before she moved in.
Go ahead.
Well, she wouldn't let me clean. I couldn't even, the bed that she had the room for me, I couldn't take her papers off the bed. I had to actually sleep on the side of the bed. I woke up to Carol staring at me. She was sitting in a chair staring at me. And I was uneasy, and I was like, I cannot live here. I just could not live in that situation.
Why was it such a mess?
It's not such a mess. It's totally, she's just supposed to help me with my dishes.
Were there papers all over the bed that you were sleeping on?
No.
Did you go into her room and were you sitting in her room at some point?
No, that's a total lie. She just, all she did was change her mind about wanting to live there, and then the lie
Why
happened.
do you think, Miss Warner, she changed her mind within a 24-hour period?
Probably because she found a place that she could rent at a pretty good price, and she wanted her own place.
Miss Warner, you are mistaken. I find that you have suffered absolutely no financial damage as a result of her not living there. You didn't turn away other prospective boarders. I don't believe that you turned away other prospective boarders because it's months later and you still don't have a boarder in your house. You look like two very nice young ladies, but you can't keep the $489, madam. It's outrageous.
If she had rented some other else, like actually rented a home, that landlord wouldn't give her money back just because she changed her mind the same day.
I didn't. Madam.
Or the day later.
I believe her when she says that living in your home, that you are a clutter collector.
It's not true.
I believe that you are a clutter collector and that circumstances in your home for that brief period that she lived there made her believe that her life in your home was going to be untenable.
She decided she wanted to live on her own, and she saw the place before she moved in. She decided to live there.
She didn't live with you for 24 hours. Judgment for the plaintiff and the amount of...
37 on the calendar in the matter of Haas versus Light. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
You are the owner of a bed and breakfast.
Yes,
According
ma'am.
to your complaint, you had hired the defendant to manage your operation when you were out of town. Your complaint is that Mrs. Light wrecked your car and additionally stole a substantial amount of money from you. Mrs. Light denies wrecking your car and, of course, to stealing any money from you, and in addition has countersued for harassment and an assault that took place while she was in your employ. So, Ms. Haas, when did the employment begin?
Well, Kathy came sometime, I was critically injured, and it was sometime in July, and Kathy came and said she needed a job, that she'd never been able to get one, and would I give her a chance? And she's never, to my knowledge, had any kind of job at all, so I said I would give her a chance. But I didn't check any of her records or anything.
That doesn't make you a very good business person.
No, it doesn't.
So she came to work for you in July of the year 2000?
Yes, ma'am.
And when did you leave?
Well, actually, I didn't leave till October, but the incident when she wrecked the car, the two cars in particular, were us on September 30th.
Tell me about that.
Well, I was over with my boyfriend, who's now my husband, and I was over at his house in Red Bud, Illinois, and I had asked Kathy to bring me some money over. She was on my checkbook, and I asked her to bring me over $800 that we needed some money for some improvements we were going to do. So we were sitting at this like little bar and restaurant, and she came over there and she was highly intoxicated, and they asked us to leave the bar. So we took her down to Randy's mother's house, and she asked us to leave too. So Randy took Kathy up to his place where she insisted upon driving. She took the truck, and Randy was going to show her how to get to the road. It's a country road. She had a girlfriend with her who was not intoxicated. She hit the Camaro from behind with the Mazda truck and then went back to St. Louis. So she damaged not only the Mazda but the brand new Camaro, which I have saved all my life to get.
Okay. Did she continue in your employ after September the 30th?
Yeah.
She did?
Yeah.
Until what date?
Probably about November 11th when I came back from Florida, when the guest staying there had complained that she was doing a lot of narcotics.
Don't tell me what the guest said unless you have guests there.
All right.
November 11th of 2000 is when she was terminated.
Right, I had called her on the phone and said there was a lot of complaints against her, so...
So the whole month of October,
yeah, she was
and
there.
for part of November, even
Yes, ma'am.
after this accident, when you
Right.
knew she was drunk and created scenes in two places,
Right.
you continued her in your employ.
Yeah, because I felt sorry for her. She said she had cancer.
Ms. Haas.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You should be.
I wanted to keep her on because she needed a job. She told me she did.
All right, now tell me about the theft of money.
Well, she wrote like a lot of checks. I mean, she never would keep any records, and she wrote like $500 for food, but she never bought any food for the bed and breakfast guests. So then she wrote $500 for her boyfriend, Mark, to remove a tree limb, but it was never removed.
Well, I'm not going back to $500 for food. I will take a look at the paper that you have with regard to the removal of a tree limb.
Okay. Here's the tree limb is still there.
Well, this says payroll and tree service.
Kathy was not even there. I was paying her $10 an hour, but she was never there more than 20 hours a week.
Well, you know, Ms. Haas, who do you think is going to go over all these little receipts? You were paying her $10 an hour. She wasn't there for 40 hours. She only should have been paid for 20 hours.
She was supposed to send me her time record in Florida, but she never did.
Who were Randy and John?
There was friends of mine that I paid to have them drive the car up there, but Kathy seemed to have take a liking to John for some reason. I don't know.
Whatever. She's got a check here that's a memo for Randy and John.
Yeah, that's for Randy, my husband, and a friend of his.
She told me to cash a check and give them $1,000 to Randy and John to drive her vehicle up to Florida.
She did that.
Well, that's one of the things you gave me.
She did that.
What
But then
about,
there was that additional
just a second,
$500.
what about $500 in cash for a phone recorder?
She had asked me to purchase a phone recorder so she can record conversations as she's talking to people. And she had a limo that was being stored at some people's house, and when I quit, I didn't even worry about getting her phone recorder. I just went and paid for the limo, gassed it up, and brought it back.
That's not true, man.
Is that when you quit?
Yes.
When did you quit?
She got fired.
I quit on November the 11th, 12th, something like that.
Well, this check was written on November the 5th. This is before you quit.
The check for $1,000, it was the day
I didn't
after.
ask for $1,000. I'm past the $1,000 already.
Yeah, the check was wrote for $1,000. I quit the day after.
She got fired.
Just a second. Ms. Haas?
I'm sorry.
Don't speak out again.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay. You quit the day after you wrote out the check for $1,000?
Yes,
Fine.
I didn't like
it. You wrote out a check on November the 3rd, payroll and tree service, $400.
That was my payroll. And
What payroll for whom?
For working for her.
So you kept your own hours?
No, Miss Haas and I had made an agreement that I would work so many hours, but she had me running errands to lawyers and doctors, which made it consume more hours.
This is all a very loose way of doing business. One final check I'm going to ask you about. You have a check to mail packages and x-rays, $500. What's x-rays?
I had to go to all these hospitals that she was in and get all her medical records. I had to Federal Express it overnight to her.
Oh, is that true?
It's $20. They were $20.
Show me a bill.
I don't have a bill for the x-rays.
Well, how am I supposed to have a bill, madam?
Well,
And
maybe she
this
does.
was on October. You're supposed to keep close eye.
I was in Miami Beach, Florida.
I don't care whether you
I know,
were,
but I was
don't care
critically
whether
injured. I
you
was
were
in
in
the-
Panama. Listen to me.
I was in the hospital.
Listen to me. Then you don't give a stranger,
I know
a
that.
stranger who you know has an alcohol abuse problem.
I know that, madam.
You don't give somebody who you hire off the street access to your checking account.
I know that.
Right? Sign them on and have no set salary for them and say they work by the hour.
It was $10
She
an
said,
hour.
well, Well, you expect me to ask her on the 19th of October how many hours did you work?
I don't know. I was in
Well, I don't know either.
I was in the hospital at the time.
On October 19th?
I was trusting her.
Well, then how do you expect me to deal with that? How do you expect
don't
any
know.
court to deal with that? I don't know either.
I mean, the car...
Let's get to the accident, because that's the only thing that may have an objective facts
All right,
that I
well,
can deal
he
with.
was a witness for the accident. Randy, can you come up here? This is my husband. Tell her what happened.
Okay.
Well, we called her from the bed and breakfast to have her bring us over $800 to Red Bed. And she was highly intoxicated. And I tried 3 or 4 times, to let her stay at my house. She wouldn't do it. She refused. So I took her out to the end of the road. She ran to the back of the car.
Had you been drinking?
Who, me?
That's exactly who I'm talking to, sir. Had you been drinking?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. What part of the day or night did this happen, sir?
It's probably about 8 at night.
And when had you started to drink that day?
Not at all.
Miss Haas? Miss Haas?
Okay, sorry.
Believe me.
Okay.
I know my business.
All right.
Watching this will be like looking into a Ouija board.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Faye Haas says former employees Kathy Light and Mark Light stole money from her business and wrecked her car. Kathy and Mark deny the charges and say Faye assaulted Kathy with a plastic baseball bat.
What time had you started drinking that day, sir?
Probably 6:37
And where were you drinking, sir?
at a bar.
And what time had you arrived at the bar?
I wouldn't.
What do you mean you wouldn't know? What time had you arrived at the bar that day, sir?
Probably 6:37
From where?
from...
I don't know. I don't know. He doesn't remember.
Miss Haas, I'm not going to take any information
All right,
from him.
all right.
Forget it. You blew it. You
I'm
understood
sorry.
where I was coming
But
from.
he doesn't know what time it was.
He doesn't know what time it was because he was drunk.
No, he
Sit
wasn't.
down.
No, he wasn't drunk.
Oh, I have to assume that, because if he can't remember where he was on a day when two cars collided, I don't believe you.
We were waiting for...
I don't believe you that he doesn't remember where he was.
All right.
If he doesn't remember where he was on this fateful day, then I have to rely on her statement
He was with
that
me.
he was drunk as a skunk. Now, she may have been. That means you got 2 drunk people driving in your 2 cars, one a Camaro and one a truck. He was drinking and she was drinking, if I believe you. Although I have a little bit of a problem with that, because unless there's something wrong with you, you would not allow someone who is as drunk as you claim she was, that required her to be ejected from the bar, ejected from her mother's house, and yet you would still leave her in charge of your business, giving her total access to your checking account, relying on what she did with money, relying on what she did with guests, somebody who was clearly a danger, according to you. I have a problem with that, Miss Haas.
I'm sorry, I'm wrong. You're right. It was stupid.
All right, Ms. Lick, tell me what happened with the car.
She had called and they had asked for money, and I had a friend of mine, Jesse, ride over with me. Well, when I got over there, she buys Jesse and I 1 beer. She takes me across the street to a flower shop, buys me a bouquet of flowers, and then she insists on going and unloading the truck. So we went to Randy's house and we unloaded the car. And as far as the car, there was no accident. I get home and I get this phone call from Miss Haas saying I wrecked her car. Well, them 2 are both drunk, so I just basically blew it off.
But after this car incident,
I continued to work for her.
You continued to work for her?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's get to your counterclaim. Go ahead.
I quit working for Miss Haas because she would call me on the phone and cut me down and say I'm dyslexic and this and that, and my nerves couldn't handle it no more. So I call her on the phone in Florida and tell her I quit. 3 weeks after I quit, she's accusing me of all these things. She's trying to fire me after I quit.
So let me hear about this harassment.
She has been calling, my son and I have pagers. She has been calling our pagers. She calls my son and tells him that I'm a dope dealer and that she's going to have to take him to baseball games because I'm going to be in a federal penitentiary, because she's going to see to it that I go to a federal penitentiary. I went and got a restraining order against her.
Let me see it.
Not true. Kathy, shame on you. Shame on you.
Ms. Haas, you consented to the entry of a restraining order against you by your counsel. Is that right?
I was in the hospital and I could not go. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
The answer is yes. If you're in the hospital and you can't go, then your attorney asks for postponement.
I don't know what he did, ma'am.
Of course you do.
No, I don't. I really don't, Judge Judy.
He consented to this entry.
Well, he went there supposedly to postpone it.
December 20th of the year 2000. He consented to the entry of an order of protection.
Well, I'm sorry about that, but I've never laid a hand on Kathy. She wanted me to adopt her.
And the order of protection specifically says you are not to
I want nothing to do with
abuse,
Kathy.
threaten, molest, stalk, disturb, and no telephone calls, and shall not communicate with her in any way whatsoever.
Right.
Now, you came back from Florida on November 11th.
Right.
And according to you, you told me that you were in the hospital in Florida.
I was in the hospital in Florida, in Jackson Memorial Hospital and Mount Sinai.
Well, what'd you go to Florida for?
To get another opinion on my arm that was going to be amputated.
And when were you admitted to the hospital? When you returned in November?
2 days later, a week later, I was admitted to the hospital for
So that would be the 18th of November.
Right.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
And how long were you hospitalized?
2 days.
Were you re-hospitalized at any time after November? Believe me, I will check.
No, no.
So that you were not in the hospital at the time that your attorney entered a consent order. You just said you told him to go there and not do anything, put it over because you were in the hospital.
I could not leave the house. I was not allowed to.
Just a second. So that you were not hospitalized as you originally said.
But I had a nurse at home and I could not leave the house.
All right. It's a month later. Month after your surgery. People recover from open heart surgery faster. After this order of protection was issued, were there any other harassing phone calls?
Yes, I have them on tape here.
Let me hear.
Okay.
Hey, Mark, it's Ken. Guess what? Lisa and Paul are going to testify in court. What kind of guy lives with his brother's wife? Low life Hoosier.
I said that.
Yeah, Mark, it's Faye. I got the restraining order from the sheriff. We never had any intention of hurting Kathy, but I am going to file criminal charges against you, Mark White, and Kathy Light for dealing methamphetamine, marijuana, prescription drugs, not only out of my home, but my place of business. We're going to bring up Kathy's past arrest records. So when you show up in court, you better spend about 10 grand to have a very, very good attorney. We are not threatening you. We want nothing to do with people like you, Mark and Kathy Leach. Have a nice evening. Yeah, Mark, it's fine. Have Kathy send me the money for the 2 cars she wrecked when she was drunk on her. I mean, that night that she dealt methamphetamines out of my house. End of messages.
I also have tape here of her calling and leaving messages. I will go ahead and play this for you.
How is it that you and Kathy for dealing marijuana out of your house? The sheriff will be down there. Either pay me back or you call the jail. Yeah, well, tell your girlfriend Kathy Leach, also known as the major drug addict, to bring back the gift certificates to her and all the food certificates she sold. What a woman.
Okay.
I said that. I did. I was
that letter?
I was frustrated.
You were frustrated. You were breaking the law.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry
were
about the
breaking the
attorney.
law?
I'm sorry about the attorney I got to go down there.
Well, that's not my problem,
I know
madam.
that,
That's your
but
problem. You were clearly aware that you were served with a final order of protection. Final order of protection said absolutely no contact, and specifically, no telephone calls.
She had all my records at her house. How was I supposed to get them? Go down to her house? Her neighbor's very dangerous.
I don't quite frankly care what precipitated it. All I care about is there was an order that you were made aware of by service, because you indicate on this that you
But I asked
had
her why she was
No,
doing
you
that
may
to me.
not ask a question.
I was asking you why she would do that to
You
me.
don't
when I-
ask me any questions. I'm telling you.
All
You
right.
were served with an order. You were on notice. You continued to harass her, and in addition, you violated the order.
And as far as her abusing me, she would hit me with plastic bats and wooden and metal canes.
When did you do that?
When I was working for her.
Why didn't you leave?
Mark had made a joke to her about telling her that she had to stop hitting me and leaving bruises because she would have to pay $50 for each bruise and $100 for blood, and we was just joking about that. But that was to get her to stop hitting on me.
So insane. You're so nuts.
Listen to me.
I'd leave too if somebody did that.
This is certainly not a think tank here. However, if I'm working for somebody and they even think about hitting me, I'm gone.
I know, but...
I know. You don't make a game of it. Every time she hits you, leaves a bruise, you get $50, $100 for drawing blood. I mean, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Your claim against her is dismissed. You have no proof. and I'm not satisfied with hubby's proof that he wasn't responsible for this accident. You have no tangible proof that she stole anything from you. You do have proof, however, that she continued, despite the issuance of this protective order, to continue to call you, which is in violation of the protective order, and on the counterclaim, I am awarding you $500.
Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat.
Ms. Michaud, according to your complaint, you and the defendant had at one time been friends, and then there was some sort of a tiff over a boy. But there came a time when you were sort of having a girls' beauty day. You were at a friend's house, the defendant was there, everybody decided to color their hair. According to you, the defendant applied a hair dye on your hair. Is that right?
That's correct.
And then you stayed home, and she and some of the other girls went out to get some other products. They were gone for a couple of hours. You rinsed out the hair dye. Everything was fine. They came back. The defendant put a conditioner on your hair, and then all your hair fell out. Right?
Correct.
So you are convinced that she put something in this conditioner that caused your hair to fall out?
Yes.
What kind of hair product did you use? Was it a product that you had used before? The
Yes.
dye?
The dye was the exact same dye as I had used 3 months prior to this.
The same one?
The same color, the same everything.
Okay, and how long did you leave it on?
45 minutes, like it said on the box.
And you rinsed it out?
And I rinsed it out.
And then you just sat around the house and waited for them to come back?
Well, I was watching her daughter. They stopped at McDonald's or something, I don't know. I was watching her daughter, and I was just rinsed the conditioner, well, the dye out of my hair, and waited for them to get back. And then
What happened when they got back?
She came, and she had 2 little travel-sized bottles of conditioner. She gave one to Karen and one to me. She asked Karen to put it on her hair, and she told us to put it on her hair for as long as we could stand it. Now, I'm not sure what that meant, but once we put the conditioner on
Well,
her
did
hair...
you look at the travel-sized bottle of conditioner?
Yes. It was the exact same. I've used that conditioner before. It was the exact same kind as she was using.
Right. And did you open it yourself?
No.
Who opened it?
Danielle.
Were you there when she opened it?
Yeah, I was there when she opened it.
And you had used that conditioner previously and nothing had happened?
Correct.
And you put it on your hair and what happened?
I let it sit for a little while and then it started to burn. And Karen went into the bathroom to rinse that conditioner because she had it on her hair too.
Step up here, please. You're Karen?
Yes.
Karen, when you put the conditioner on your hair, did it burn too?
No.
It didn't burn at all?
Nope.
Had you ever used that conditioner before?
No.
But you went to rinse yours out.
Yes.
Why?
Because she said her head started to burn, so I was scared that it might have a reaction with my head, so I went to rinse my hair out, and I rinsed it out, and it was just conditioned.
What happened when you went to rinse yours out?
Well, I went into the bathroom to rinse it out, and I put my head under the drain. I was standing in the bathtub, and I looked down at my hands, and there was hair in my hands, but I thought it was just because I had dyed it, and maybe someone died, right? But then I came to the conclusion that when I dyed my hair, it was fine. When I rinsed the hair dye out, it was fine. All of a sudden, it started coming out in clumps, like the whole bathtub, the whole bathroom was covered in hair. My hands were full of hair.
How long was your hair?
Short, but...
Okay.
It didn't come out at the root. It came down to like a little stubble. And for 3 days, it just kept coming out more and more. Every time I washed it, every time I brushed it, it just kept falling out and falling out and falling out until I had a burnt spot in my head that would stretch about that far.
Did you take the bottle of conditioner?
No.
Why not?
Because the garbage had gotten emptied out with the bottle of conditioner in it right after it happened.
Well, wouldn't it have been wise to save that bottle? Once you saw all your hair falling out in the drain.
It did cross my mind, and I went to look in the garbage, but it had been emptied already.
Who emptied it?
Karen.
Where did she put it?
Oh, I had emptied the garbage can because we had dyed our hair and used the same garbage can. So I have a 3-month-old downstairs, so there was like all the chemical stuff in one garbage can. So after we had put our conditioner out and it started to smell, I took it out, tied it up in a bag, and put it in the garage outside.
Okay, so there was no reason why you couldn't go get that vial from the garage outside, right?
Right.
Well, why didn't you think about doing that?
Because I wasn't really convinced yet that she had done it. Like, I was suspicious, but I wasn't really convinced that she had done it.
Okay. So now you're having a reaction, and your hair is coming out in clumps as you're rinsing it out.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not convinced that she did it. What convinced you, according to you, that she had done it?
Well, once I stopped to think about it, she's cut my hair before, and it looked not so great. And she went to Karen
and to my boyfriend Brian and said, well, I cut her hair like that so she'd look stupid so Brian wouldn't want her. And not only that, but a friend of ours was sleeping on the couch one night and she said she was envious of her hair.
Just a minute. Is this something that you heard or that somebody told you?
Well, she said it to her.
What did she say?
She said that Nicole asked her to cut her hair, and she cut her hair, and she said that she purposely messed it up because Brian told her to do it, to make her look ugly.
Now, did you go to the store with her?
Yes, I did.
And how many other people went to the store with her?
It was me, Danielle, and Jamie, who is a friend of ours. He was at the house that night.
What store did you go to?
We went to Walmart.
Were you all together?
Yes.
Were you all together when the conditioner was purchased?
No. Me and Jamie took some of the stuff that she wanted to buy. She said she wanted a phone card for her phone. So we went to the electronics section to get her phone card while she was purchasing everything else she had bought that day.
Who carried the bag with the conditioner and all the other stuff?
Danielle.
Now, when you got back, who took out the conditioner bottles from the bag?
Danielle.
Did they look exactly the same?
Yes.
Was there any indication that either one had been tampered with?
No.
Did you see both bottles?
Yes.
They were both the exact same bottles?
Yes. Travel size conditioners. Same kind, everything.
So when they were taken out of the bag, do you remember this when she took them out of the bag?
No, I wasn't there when she took them out of the bag. Like, we had everything set up in the bathroom, but the problem was I have a 3-month-old, so we couldn't all just be in the bathroom at the same time. So she went downstairs first, and I went downstairs. Jamie was already downstairs, and Nicole was already downstairs because she was there. We had just gotten back. I went into the bathroom. The bottles were already out of the bag. They were on the counter. She grabbed one. She said, here, you got to put this on your hair. You got to put it on your hair dry, like instead of having the water in it. So I'm like, okay. So I put it on my hair. No big deal. Just left it in my hair.
How many other items were purchased that day?
There was the 2 bottles of conditioner, a phone, 1 or 2 phone cards for cell phone, a prescription, I don't know what it was though, from the pharmacy. And hair dye, her hair dye.
Whose hair dye?
Danielle's.
You didn't see any purchase of any hair remover or anything else, did you?
No, I just know what she said she had to pick up.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Did either of the 2 conditioners smell any differently when you put them on?
Not at first, but once we put them on our head, then my hair started to smell like if you were to light someone's hair on fire.
And later today,
We ended up filing a police report on Amanda Sheppy because she threatened to kill me.
Well, did she threaten you before or after you didn't pay the rent?
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Nicole Michaud says Danielle Faria tampered with her hair conditioner, causing her hair to fall out. Danielle denies the charge.
Well, Danielle, I have one question for you. Did you dislike her enough to put something in that conditioner that would cause her hair to fall out?
No.
Hmm?
No, ma'am.
What do you think might have caused her hair to fall out?
I'm not sure, but as soon as it started happening, I was the one who was on the phone to the hair dye company and to the conditioner. Karen was there when I was on the phone with them. I asked them, I said, this is what's happening, what can we do?
Is that true?
Yes. They said nothing. They said she must have just had an allergic reaction or something, because on every hair dye, the pamphlet where you get the gloves, says do a 48-hour allergy test.
Yeah, but she had already used this hair dye according to her before.
True.
Okay, but you actually got on the phone.
Yes, I did.
Did anybody suggest that you get the little bottle and find out anything about the bottle?
Well, no. The actual hair company that we used, the actual product, they were closed. Like when I called, this was at probably like 10 o'clock at night, they were closed. So I called L'Oreal, which was the product that I used, just the number off my box, and they're the ones who told me this, and they said just make sure she doesn't brush her hair or whatever. And the conditioner didn't even cross my mind, because conditioner, you wouldn't think it would do anything.
You told her to put it on and leave it on as long as you could.
Mm-hmm.
Did you tell her that?
Yes, I did.
Why?
Just because that's what the lady at the Walmart told me when we were shopping. I didn't even remember, I didn't even think of getting the conditioner until we had talked to the cosmetician, whatever she's called, in the Walmart, and she had said that because Nicole wanted to dye her hair black, then put blonde peroxide streaks into it. So I asked her, I said, well, what can we possibly use to, I know her hair is going to be damaged either way, but what could we possibly use to at least save it a little bit? And that's what she gave me, was those 2 conditioners.
You know what your problem is? what you think, Nicole, may have happened. It is possible. But the one thing that you would have had to establish that Danielle did something purposefully to you is to have saved the bottle, right?
Yes.
Wasn't put in a trash compactor, it was just outside in the trash. All you had to do was open up the trash, dig in, find both bottles, because you don't know which one is which. You would have had both bottles. They could have been tested to see if there was anything in there. Did either of the two conditioners smell any differently when you put them on?
Not at first, but once we put them on our head, then my hair started to smell like, if you were to light someone's hair on fire, that's what it started to smell like. The entire basement smelled like burned hair. And hers smelled fine, just smelled like regular.
And hers smelled fine.
Yeah.
What kind of dye did you put on your hair?
Same as hers, nice and easy.
Were you planning on putting blonde streaks in your hair?
I was, but I hadn't gotten that far yet, because she had given me the conditioner and said, if you put this on your hair, then it'll stop it from dyeing when you put the blonde streaks in. And so I did.
Do you understand what the problem is? I mean, what you're accusing her of is a serious, really a serious assault. Tampering with a product in order to cause danger to you. I don't know if that's true. I mean, she purchased the product. There was no indication that they were tampered with before it was put on your head. Is it possible that she went into the store, purchased these 2 vials, went over to a different area, picked up a hair remover, poured some out somehow, right? Filled up your bottle with, or part of your bottle with a hair remover? I mean, is that possible?
I think it is.
It's possible. It's unlikely that somebody wouldn't have seen all this activity going on in the store, right?
It's true, but we never really asked anybody in the store if they'd seen anything weird.
Well, if you never asked anybody, then that's your problem, because you're suing her. You go into the store and you ask a question, and you get the evidence. The proof is in those little bottles. But before I'm prepared to say that this young woman committed a felony, which is really what you're talking about, because that would have been a felony, I need more proof than that, and so does every other court. I think you look terrific. And it's going to grow. It's a style, anyway. Still have the same boyfriend?
Kind of, I guess. We still associate.
Okay, good. All I can tell you is, Miss Faria, if you did what she thinks that you did, if you did, that's a terrible thing. Unfortunately, she can't prove it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Why does that excuse? You may step out.
Danielle has a way of getting in and making everything look like it's okay for a little while, and then pushing everybody out and ruining everybody's life.
Nicole has a way to turn everything. She's a drama queen. She screams it for attention, and she'll do anything to get it.
I'm not going to let her touch my hair anymore.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Nicklin, Sheppy, Peterson versus Dingman. Step forward, please.
Carrie Nicklin, Amanda Sheppy, and Emily Peterson are suing former roommate, 19-year-old student Lisa Dingman, for breaking an apartment lease. Lisa says she broke the lease because she received a scholarship to go to another school.
All right, not a very difficult case. You ladies all went to college together. You decided at some point that you wanted to, the following year, live together off campus in an apartment. And you found the 2-bedroom apartment, and the 4 of you signed a lease. So far, am I correct?
Yes.
At some point, you decided that you were changing schools.
Yes.
And you were going to be living in another city, and were not going to avail yourself of this apartment.
Yes.
Your lawsuit wants rent for 2 months, her share of the rent for 2 months, when you did not find another roommate.
A month and a half, we're asking, and the $100 to change the lease.
When you leased this apartment, it was from what month to what month?
The lease began on August 17th of the year 2000, and it would go to the following date of the following year.
Okay. And it started when the school year starts.
Right, a few weeks before school started, which was convenient for us because we started practice early anyway.
What kind of practice?
Cross country.
Cross country?
Running.
Running.
Yeah.
All of you were on the team?
Yes.
But it's not easy to find a roommate during the summertime because school isn't in session, but you have to rent this place for a year. Is that right?
Yeah, and Lisa had only given us 3 weeks' notice before.
No, don't ask. Just answer my questions.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Well, do you think that this is reasonable?
After what they put me through, no.
I'm not interested in what they put you through.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. University track team members Carrie Nicklin, Amanda Sheppy, and Emily Peterson say former teammate and roommate Lisa Dingman owes them for breaking an apartment lease.
Okay, I've had kids who are in college. They have to rent a place for a year, even though they're not using it for the whole period of time. Is that right? Okay. So, and people aren't there before so that, you know, you could fill in immediately. You have to wait until people start coming back and looking for another place to live. Now, why don't you think you're responsible for this month and a half and for, according to the plaintiffs, the $100 that they had to pay in order to change the names on the lease?
Because when this started, I did offer to pay the $100 to change my name, but they have put me through a lot of stuff. We ended up filing a police report on Amanda Sheppy because she threatened to kill me. And Carrie
Well, did she threaten you before or after you didn't pay the rent?
This was before. We had a meeting at Emily Peterson's house, and I brought along a list of options that I said that I would be willing to help them to help this situation out.
Well, what kind of options did you offer?
I offered that they can go with the three of them, and the monthly rent would go from $720 to $620, and they would each only have to pay $26 extra a month.
Why should they have to pay anything extra?
Because I was offered a scholarship to go to another school.
Yeah, but they're not responsible for that. You are.
Okay. Another option that I gave them was that if they wanted a fourth person, I would be willing to find them a new roommate, and then I would pay the $100 to take my name off of the lease, and I would pay $100 to put somebody else's name on the lease. And they would not agree to that either.
Well, that's reasonable that they wouldn't agree to that. I assume when you rent a two-bedroom apartment, that means you're going to be sharing a room with somebody, and they want to be able to choose somebody that they are compatible with rather than having you go out and find somebody that may not be somebody that they can live with.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
Do you think that this is reasonable?
Well, I felt that if I left it up, like if they were to find another roommate, and I did not help out and all, that they would drag this on for the whole year, and I wouldn't be able to afford to pay $100 a month living someplace else.
Of course, you're absolutely right, but they didn't do that. They found somebody almost immediately.
They did not inform me of that.
Well, but they did. Certainly when you received the summons to appear in court, you realized that it was just a month and a half, that they were out your share of the rent, so they found somebody immediately.
Yeah, when they first were going to summon me to court, it was for $665. And that I did not think was reasonable at all.
Well, do you think that this is reasonable?
After what they put me through, no, I do not.
I'm not interested in what they put you through. $370 is a month and a half's worth of rent and $100 to change the name on the lease.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Lovely. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $370.
Parties are excused. Mason versus Henry. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have seats, please.
Ms. Olivencia, it is your claim that the defendant, who you hardly knew if you knew at all, on two separate occasions assaulted you and attacked your car. For some reason you are only suing for the attack on your car. The defendant says it was you who assaulted her and her car, but you have no counterclaim. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, where did this happen? The first time?
First time it happened on May 11th at the Worcester County jail.
At a jail. What were you doing there?
I went to go drop off my friend Janika at 6 o'clock, and I went to pick her up at 8.
What was she doing there?
She went to go see her boyfriend.
Had you ever seen the defendant before May 11th?
I've seen her like 2 times.
Did you ever speak to her?
Never.
Okay. So did this initial assault occur on the way going to the jail or when you went to pick up your friend?
When I went to go pick her up.
Who was with you?
My cousin Maria was with me and her daughter.
And now you can tell me what happened.
Okay, I was sitting in the car waiting for her, for Janika to come out. Stephanie Henry then comes out of the jail and approached me, started yelling, cursing at me. Anyways, I noticed she was getting hostile, so I turned on my car and I was going to turn around to go, and that's when she pulled my hair, started slapping me.
How did she pull your hair?
How did she pull my hair? From this side. She approached me. I was in my car.
And the window was open?
The window was open, yep.
So she came and she pulled your hair. What else?
I was sitting in the car, she pulled my hair, and I tried to get her away from me. My cousin was screaming. The correctional officers came outside. They ran outside. They tried to separate us. At that point,
How did they try to separate you? Were you still in the car?
I was still in the car, yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, they tried to separate her because she was holding on to me. So then she runs to the car and kicks my headlight and breaks it. And they witnessed that. They banned us from being there ever again. And we just went home.
You have a report from them?
I have a report from the Worcester Police Department.
May I see it? What's this blackened out part?
Well, because they don't let me see what, where she lives, or the police station did that.
This says that you talked about a group of males that surrounded your minivan.
That was afterwards.
Was that at a different location?
Different location.
Okay. Because I know there were 2 incidents. All right, so after she was separated from your car and she kicked your headlight in, did she leave or did you leave?
I left.
And your friend, did you wait for your friend?
She never came out.
All right, Miss Henry, you want to tell me about this incident?
Yes, Your Honor. I was coming out of the administration building like everybody has to do. You leave out of the administration building. I was standing there holding my 1-year-old son in my left hand, okay? I was waiting for my son's godfather to come pick me up. I was standing there, a woman walked by me. I did not have any cigarettes on me at the moment, so a woman handed me a cigarette. I was smoking a cigarette with my right hand and had my son in the left.
That's nice.
I noticed Miss Olivia walk in the building. I noticed they came out and went into the car with another girl and a young child. Then I noticed she came out of the car and went back into the building. I don't know, I assume it was to look for Miss Cruz, but she went back in the building, she came back out, she got in the car. She proceeded to drive away. Okay, at this moment, I'm standing there smoking a cigarette, holding my son. I flick the ash on my cigarette. She reverses, does a 3-point turn, comes back, and says, "Excuse me, what was that?" A curse word. And I said, "Excuse me, I don't know you, and I have never met you before, and if I had something to say to you, I would address you and let you know. Therefore, I'm holding my son, drive away and have a nice day." I spoke to her nicely the first time. She started cursing at me, calling me these rude names, talking about she knows who I am, she knows where I live. I'm like, well, I have no idea who you are. I've never seen you before in my life. She then steps out of her automobile, comes over to me, approaches me with my child in my left hand, I remind you, and she's pointing in my face, and I'm like, you need to get in your car and drive away because I don't know you and I'm holding my son. And I don't play around like that with a baby in my hands. She kept cursing. She proceeded to get back in her automobile. As she was doing so, she grabbed my hair. I have a scratch right here. Unfortunately, Your Honor, I was unable to have my pictures developed to bring them here. For my evidence, I had a bruise on my knee, on my right knee, from the fact that when she had grabbed me by my hair and pulled me towards the car, my knee was hitting her door because she was pulling me. And of course, I'm going to defend myself with my child in my hands. And I'm going to try to get away because at this point, I didn't know if she was going to try to drive off while I'm holding my son. Okay? No correctional officers came out and broke anything up. She drove off after she had let go of my hair. And she went to turn again, and as she turned again, because you can't go to a certain point in a restricted area, you have to turn back and go out of the parking lot. She turned again, she came at me to try to hit me with my child. So I'm defending myself, moving out of the way, and as I move out of the way, my foot kicked her blinker, the tail light. I have a report from the Worcester County House of Correction saying that she did not care about the blinker, she didn't want to press any charges at that time, and that was the end of that. And I remind you, Your Honor, she was saying that she knew where I lived and that she would be there. Okay?
Ms. Olavencia, you indicated to me that your friend here, who you had dropped off in the morning, did not come out. That's what you just indicated to me, correct?
I dropped her off in the evening, 6 o'clock.
Or in the evening, and then went back to pick her up, and you said she...
And she did not come out.
Yep. Well, this report indicates that the one involved party was leaving in a gray Toyota, and the other party was standing in front of the administration building. I assume that was you.
Yes, ma'am.
Stop the gray Toyota. Is your car gray?
My car is like a tan.
What's your license plate number? That's the tag number. bearing Massachusetts tags and identified the operator as Rebecca Olivencia, that's you. A passenger in the vehicle was identified as Janika Cruz.
That is wrong, because my cousin was with me. And they took my cousin's ID. And they also know that Janika, yes, she did go
Just a
at
second.
6 o'clock.
Just a second. That's what the detective wrote, that the passenger in the car was identified as Janika Cruz. Step up here. Then he goes on to give me a whole story here about something about a boyfriend. Who were you there to visit?
I was visiting my boyfriend, my daughter's father.
What's his name?
Victor.
Do you know Victor?
He's a neighbor of mine.
Anything other than a neighbor?
No, well, he was. He can't remain in that building either.
Was he ever a boyfriend of yours?
No, Miss.
Was he ever a boyfriend?
No,
of
ma'am,
yours?
no, ma'am.
Did you ever go out with him?
No, ma'am.
But you know him?
Yep.
So the connection between the two of you is through her.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Stephanie shows up in a car full of guys telling me to get out. It looked like they wanted to fight me. So then one of them puts on a bandana around his face. And then he started like putting his hand in his pocket like if he had something, like a gun or something.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Rebecca Olivencia says her car was damaged during a fight with Stephanie Henry. Stephanie says she kicked the car because Rebecca wouldn't let go of her hair.
You knew her from this person who was never your boyfriend, who you
No,
never
we know
dated.
each other from her boyfriend, which is now my ex-boyfriend.
Ah, well, so we have somebody else.
Which is her boyfriend or her fiance.
Who used to be your boyfriend?
Used to be my boyfriend about going on 3 years ago.
And did you like each other before this happened?
We didn't know each other. We met each other one time, and then from there we just couldn't get along. We fought when I was 6 months pregnant.
Who fought?
Me and Stephanie. From there, we didn't get along, whatever.
Did you know about this fight that they had?
I had no idea about it.
How long have you known her?
I've known her for a couple of years now.
How long is a couple?
About 2-3 years.
And when was this fight while you were pregnant?
1999. No, year 2000. I was 6 months.
Before this incident happened in May?
Yeah.
Yes. So if you were friends, you mean she didn't tell you that she was assaulted?
No, because we're not always together. We're not
She didn't
best
tell you
friends.
that she was assaulted?
No. I never knew about it.
That's unusual. This also says, Miss Olivencia, that you told the detective there that you did not wish to pursue the matter any further and did not care about the broken headlight.
That is not true. I never even spoke to that detective, as a matter of fact.
Uh-huh. Olivencia states that she was attacked first by Henry, that's you, and didn't know who Henry was. She said that they just pulled each other's hair and exchanged words. Well, that's true. So there were a lot of things, according to you, that are wrong in here. Okay, now let's hear about the second assault.
Okay, the second assault happened after Janika asked me to go bring her to pick up her daughter.
Give me the date.
That was the same day. That was probably a half an hour later.
Okay.
I had told Janika, well, I don't know if I should go over there, but seeing that she's my friend and I was
Go
doing
over
her
where?
a favor, to Piedmont Street, which is where she lives and which is where her daughter was at the grandmother's house.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I get there, and Janika steps out of the car, and then she shows up, Stephanie shows up in a car full of guys, like 4 guys. They all jump out of the car. They start cursing at me to get out of the car. I lock my doors. I roll my windows up. I told Janika, get in the car because these people are getting crazy. Anyways, the guys are yelling at me, telling me to get out. It looked like they wanted to fight me. So then one of them puts on a bandana around his face. And the only thing showing was his eyes. And then he started like putting his hand in his pocket like if he had something, like a gun or something. Anyways, my cousin started going nuts. She started screaming. She was making me nervous. I told Janika, get in the car. Janika wouldn't get in the car. She was trying to talk to them. And I just took off. When I was taking off, she ran to my car and she kicked the side of my door. And I rode right to the police station and I told them about it, and that's when I seen the damages that she did to the door.
I'll hear you.
Okay, Your Honor. Can I continue with the ending? Okay. Like I said, after she let go of my hand, she pursued to try to hit me with my child. And she turned around and tried to go.
You told me that. You told me that you were protecting yourself and you kicked it in her taillight.
Yes,
However,
ma'am.
Yeah, go ahead.
And as she was driving off, like I said, her friend, the passenger, her cousin, she claims, threw a large amount of hair out the window and said, "Here's your hair, B," call me the B word, and drove off, okay? Then after that, one CO came over to me. He asked me for my identification, to look for warrants, to check our records and everything, and then they had pulled her over, and they were speaking with her down the street, okay? My son's godfather had came and picked me up with his friend, okay? And they brought me home, and by the time I got to my apartment building on Piedmont Street, Miss Cruz, Miss Olivencia, her cousin, and some black, I don't know who the black female was surrounded my neighbor, who is a friend of mine who also was going to be a witness, appeared here. They surrounded her with her 7-year-old son behind her.
Why, you saw this?
No, as we pulled up, we seen them, yes, and they all scrambled in the car.
You just want to tell me what you saw.
As we pulled up, we seen all 4 of the girls surrounded my friend, my neighbor, with her son with her, and as we pulled up, my son's godfather jumped out of the car and he said, "Who tried to attack Stephanie holding her son?" And I told him it was the driver, and he said, "Get out of the car. Why did you try to attack her holding the child?" We wanted to call the police and hold her there because she was at my place of residence, and Miss Cruz does not belong there either. I have no trespassing on her.
So according to you, somebody, one of your friends, went up to her and told her that she had no business being around your neighborhood.
Exactly.
Your block. And then what happened?
And there were 2 other neighbors that had came up from the neighborhood. There were 2 other neighbors that came up from the neighborhood. And Miss Olivencia was cursing at one of them, calling him stupid, and saying things to the person. And he got
And where
very
was
upset.
she sitting or standing? When
She was in her
calling
car with her window down a little.
Okay. Go
And
ahead.
she was telling him, "Shut up," he was stupid, cursing at him, and he was the one that damaged her car. I don't know who, he's a neighbor, he lives in the neighborhood, I don't know his last name. I spoke with Janika Cruz about this. She said she didn't want any involvement in this. I said, well, I don't know who they were, because she said that Mrs. Olivencia wanted it for her insurance company. And I said, well, I don't know who those 2 men were, because they were from the neighborhood. They were trying to help my witness, my other witness that was there, the girl that they surrounded that they tried to jump. They came out and they tried to stop them from jumping her.
She wasn't jumping anybody. She was in her car with the window rolled
Before
up.
she got into the car, Your Honor?
But then she was in the car.
Yes, but
then just listen to me. But then she was in the car. When she's in her car, she's not surrounding anybody.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Whatever you did to each other in that parking lot, or whether you started to pull her hair, you went to her house. And that was stupid.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Rebecca Olivencia claims Stephanie Henry kicked her car during a fight outside of a men's prison.
You say you have a restraining order against her? Let me see it. So, Miss Cruz, there is a no trespass order against you for this housing complex.
Yes, there is.
So what were you doing there on May 11th?
She did that. I got that trespassing notice after the fact, and I called Stephanie back up, and she said, yes, I did it because of my boyfriend. Told her.
Just a second. When were you served with this notice?
I was served with that notice May 18th.
Afterwards?
Afterwards, after the fact.
You have any proof she was served with this notice before? It doesn't have a date on it.
No, Your Honor. They were waiting to serve that to her. They didn't know her location.
So they didn't serve it on her before May 11th?
No, they had it already for her.
Now, were either of you arrested as a result of these incidents?
No, ma'am.
No.
Did either of you file criminal complaints against the other?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I went right to the police station, and I told them
And so
what
you
happened.
both did?
Yeah.
What happened with those cases?
We dismissed that.
Why?
All we did was pull hair and smack each other. That was it. I don't think we deserved to get a record over that. So.
And why did you dismiss it?
I have 3 children, Your Honor. It's very hard for me to go to court all the time with 3 children.
How old are your children?
7, 2, and 1-year-old.
Where is their father?
Mr. Wilfredo Ilaraza is incarcerated, and the other father I'm not with.
Can I see the damage for the taillight only, please?
Can I have the pictures of the
How
other?
many children do you have?
I have 1. I have the pictures of the other damage.
I'm not interested in the other damage. Okay. I have a feeling that both of you ladies deserve each other. You had no business being at her housing complex after this kind of incident.
True.
So whatever happened to you, you deserved. Do you understand? I mean, I'd like to throw you out entirely because it sounds to me as if you both behaved badly. But I find no excuse for you kicking her blinker.
Your Honor, I was trying to move away.
No, baloney. Full of baloney. Moving away. Then you move away.
As
Move
I
away
was
and
moving,
kick is something else.
She tried to hit me, Your Honor.
Listen to me. Move away. Walk to someplace safe when you
I
have
went
your baby
like
in
this
your
with my
hand.
son,
Yeah,
and
I
my
know.
foot hit her
I
blinker.
understand. Believe me, madam. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
Get out of here. Parts is $101. Body labor, $195.20. That you'll pay for yourself. Ridiculous. A, whatever you did to each other in that parking lot, you did to each other. Whether you started to pull her hair or she started to pull your hair, both acted like idiots. My problem is that after this altercation, you went to her house.
I didn't go to her house.
To her apartment complex. And that was stupid.
It was.
So if your car got damaged going to her apartment complex, you pay for it. You pay for your own stupidity. But I find that you had absolutely no reason to kick her car. I also find that this is an inflated estimate of repair. So I'm going to give you the cost of the parts, which is $101.26. You paid to have it fixed yourself. That's all. Judgment for the plaintiff, $101.
Versus Mosley. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Young folks, have a seat, please.
The mothers were not at this birthday party, is that right?
That's correct.
But from what I read, and I will speak to the children who were involved, you are suing Miss Mosley because, according to your complaint, the actions of her son caused your daughter to break her foot.
That's correct.
And you are suing her for $5,000 for sordid medical bills and, I assume, some part of that for pain and suffering. Is that right?
correct.
Well, I have to figure out what happened. So I'd like the two of you to have a seat, please, while I speak to the children. You're Felicia.
Yes, ma'am.
How old are you, Felicia?
I'm 12.
And whose birthday party was this?
One of the kids there, but I don't know their names. I was invited by my mom's friend's daughter.
And I gather that they had in the backyard one of these enclosed things where you go in and jump around?
Yes.
I've seen them. My grandchildren have them at their parties. And there's walls all around it. And kids sort of go in, they take off their shoes, and they jump around like crazy.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you were in this apparatus, and Devon was there.
Yes.
How many other kids were in the jumping apparatus?
A couple of them, but some couldn't go in there because they were wet, because they were swimming.
So tell me what happened when you were inside.
Let me see. When I first went in there, I was jumping around, and Devon kept pulling me over, pushing me down, and Rachel down. I told him to stop, and he just kept on doing it. And then I told him to stop at the point where he stopped. Then what happened was he started saying, like, I want to pick my pillow, I want to jump on my pillow, and I love my pillow like an armadillo and things like that. And then he started...
He was just being a boy.
Yes, and then what happened was he was jumping on top of girls, and he was on top of girls, they would ask him to get up and all that stuff. And then other girls, they just didn't pay attention, they didn't let him off. So what I did was I dragged him off saying, get off of her, because that's not fair that he was on top of her.
So you went over where he was involved with another child, and you physically pulled him off.
Yes, I said, get off of her.
No, listen to me. You physically pulled him off.
Yes, I did.
Okay, what happened next?
And then what happened was he started doing it to me. And then what happened
What do you mean he started doing what to you?
He started jumping on top of me.
Okay.
And then he started to do it more, and I told him to stop. Then he got on top of me and said, how come my pillow has such soft legs? I said, get off me. And then he started saying that, how come my pillow has such a big butt? And then I said, just get off me, back up before I slap you. It didn't feel right. He just was talking about my body and saying this and that. And then it just got to the point where I got mad and I hit him physically. And then...
Where did you hit him?
Hit him on the back, trying to get him off me. He was on top of me. I was trying to hit him on the back, right? Because I got so sick of it. I went to go get a drink of water. I stepped out the apparatus and I went to go get a drink of water. And there's so many kids, you know, I didn't notice that he was still in there. Then he was in there, and I said, oh, not you again. And then he said, I want to rape my pillow. I just looked at him like disgusted at him. And then what happened was some of his friends or some other friends, guys came in.
By this time, there were a lot of people in there.
Yes.
Ah, okay. Because we started out with just a few, now we got to a lot. There were a lot of people in there.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're still in there?
Yes.
Okay. You haven't gone out for your drink of water yet?
Yes, I have.
Did you go out and come back?
Yes, because I didn't notice that.
Just a second. So you went out and got your water, and then you came back?
I didn't realize that he was in there, ma'am.
Don't tell me what you realized. You went out, you came back?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then what happened?
And then what happened was his friends came in there, and then they started, like, tackling me and pushing me down, kicking me, punching me. And then I was just, like, on the balloon floor, and what happened was I got kind of fed up, and I got mad, and I started hitting them back. And then what happened was I got mad at a full adrenaline force. I just started hitting them back, and then I started hitting them back, and then okay. And then I just hit
Felicia, I want you to hold on a second.
Okay.
And try to compose yourself. You want to take some water?
Fine.
Okay. Now, Felicia, they were pulling you.
No, they were like hitting me, punching me.
Where were they hitting you and punching you?
They were like on the right side of the balloon. They started hitting me, pushing me. I don't know if the adults thought.
I'm not talking about pushing. That's what you do inside those things. You push everybody down and you jump on top of them. I mean, that's what that stupid thing is for. I'm talking about punching.
Yeah, they hit me. They kicked me. I saw Davon. They hit me. They were wrestling me like you do on TV. And then what happened was Davon.
That's his friends.
Right, and then Davon, he was doing flips on me. He missed me several times or more, and then he started coming at me, towards me, and I kicked him away from me. I pushed him because I got mad. I started hitting his friends in self-defense. And then when I was leaving, someone said, "Look behind you." I looked behind me. I saw a foot come at me. And so when I went to touch the ground, I saw my foot go like that and it bent. And while I was crying and suffering, they were all, I'm going to say a couple of curse words. Will you allow me? They were saying this is in trouble and call the ambulance and all that stuff and just making fun of me, laughing and just saying derogatory remarks at me. And then when they lifted me up and put me on a chair, I saw behind me and he was just playing a Game Boy. And he didn't even apologize.
And you got hurt and you broke your foot.
Yes, I had to get surgery.
Okay. Let's hear.
Well, everyone in the jumper was wrestling, and she came in and she asked could she play. So we started playing, and then, like, she got out because she said she didn't want to play anymore. And she came back in, and we were all wrestling, and we were having flip contests, and I accidentally hit her because she was in the way. And then
Who were you wrestling with?
Well, the guys were wrestling with the girls. And then I stopped wrestling with her. I started wrestling with my cousin. And I pinned my cousin on the ground. And then she came over and she dragged me and she said, "Get off," and she kicked me. And then everyone else started wrestling again. And like there was water and soap on the ground from the kids who were swimming. So it was slippery and she was leaving and I slid and I hit her. And she fell out and twisted her leg.
Well, when you slid and hit her, is that the exact moment that she fell down?
Yes.
So you did, in fact, kick her?
Yes.
And according to you, it was a little bit of an accident?
Yes, it was.
Maybe.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Anything else that you would consider sexual? What does that mean?
I was thinking.
Well, think harder.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 12-year-old Felicia Hunter says 11-year-old Devon Miller broke her foot while clowning around in a jumping apparatus.
How many times did she hit you? I'm not talking about playing around and pushing. I'm talking about hitting you.
About twice.
And how many times did she pull you off this other girl that you were on top of? Just once? Were you annoyed with her?
Kinda. I stopped playing with her.
But you were annoyed with her. Did you think she was acting like a jerk?
Yes.
Why did you think she was acting like a jerk?
Because I wasn't playing with her and she just started hitting me.
Because she was interfering. Is that right?
Yes.
So you thought she was butting into your business?
Yes.
I have a couple of other questions to ask you, Devon. So far, you've been very honest with me, which is in your favor. Were you saying anything to her about sleeping on your pillow?
No.
And did you say anything to her like
I
that?
didn't say anything to her. I told my cousin that she was my pillow.
Okay, but when you're playing, you're not whispering that to your cousin. You're
No.
sort of saying it loud, right?
Yes.
So she was right there, so she heard you. Devon, right?
Yes.
So far, you're doing okay, Devon. Don't let me down now. Did you say anything, Devon, about her having a soft part of her body?
No.
Nothing else about raping your pillow?
No.
Anything else that you would consider sexual?
No.
What? What does that mean?
I was thinking.
Well, think harder. You don't go to jail for this, Devon. This is just the time for honesty. Okay? So let's hear.
No.
Nothing else?
Nothing.
Did you say anything to anybody else there about her of a sexual nature?
No.
You knew her from before this party?
No.
Or was it the party the first time you ever saw her?
First time.
Really? Did you know the other kids at the party?
Not
Some of them?
everyone.
What did you think of her, Devon, when she first started to play with you?
I thought she wanted to play because we were all wrestling and she just started playing.
Now, Felicia, why did you go back into the jumping apparatus when you left and went and got a drink if it was unpleasant in there?
I didn't notice that he was in there.
I know what these things look like. Unless there are 50 people in there, then you notice somebody is in there. Or you look if somebody has made your life unpleasant.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Right.
You know, you're 12,
Yes, ma'am.
so you're smart enough. If somebody's made your life unpleasant in there, you look. You say, I'm not going back in there because those guys are acting a little too wild. Because they were all acting a little wild.
That wasn't my fault.
Right. Okay, now I'll see the moms. No, I want your kids to stay up there. If you can stand, can you stand up on your foot, Felicia?
I can't put any weight on it.
No, I mean, but can you stay with your mom?
Yeah.
Or you want to sit down?
I'll stay.
Okay. All right, so you got to the party, took her, she was x-rayed, foot is broken. This happened late August, is that right?
Right.
And you have substantial medical bills?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have health insurance?
Yes.
What were your unreimbursed medical bills?
Well, to date, Your Honor, our medical expenses are approximately $9,157.92. And I don't know if that is the extent of that.
$9,000 if you have medical insurance is not going to be your bill.
Well,
Ms.
yeah,
Hunter.
that is the total. That's the total amount of bills that have come into the
It's not what I'm talking about, Ms.
Okay.
Hunter.
20. Okay,
You
I
have insurance.
That's correct.
And you are going to use your insurance because that's what insurance is for.
That's correct.
What kind of plan do you have?
20% of the contracted fees.
Mm-hmm.
Plus a $250 deductible.
Okay, let me see that, please.
Which, what, the bills?
I want to see the bills in your contract where it says that you're responsible for 20%.
Okay. Here are the bills. And this is a summary of our medical plan, and this is the plan that I'm under. I circled it.
Okay. So your office visits, you have the $10 copay, is that right, for your office visits?
Yes.
Okay, and the hospital, you have to pay 20% of your hospital bill.
Right.
So you had a hospital bill of $7,262, is that right?
That's correct.
And then you had orthopedic surgical?
Mm-hmm.
Was that done at the hospital or the doctor's office?
The doctor's office. That was for the cast.
Is your portion of that $10? You don't know that?
No.
I mean, there's a tremendous bill, but that's an entire bill.
Right.
It says doctor's office visits are $10. When did this happen?
August the 26th.
Well, did you submit these bills?
They've been submitted to the insurance company.
Have you paid any of these bills?
They have not paid.
No, have you paid any of the bills?
No, I have not been billed for them.
Your problem, Ms. Hunter, is as follows. You want the defendant's mother to be responsible for $5,000, and I have no idea of what your out-of-pocket expenses are going to be.
Well, I'm not suing. I know that my responsibility will probably not exceed $2,000. That's the 20% that I'm responsible for. Now, beyond that, I'm suing Ms. Mosley for punitive damages for what the injury that her son has caused my daughter.
No. Listen to me. There are certain things that children do that I believe that their parents knew or should have known that they had that kind of propensity, and they allowed the child to, for instance, have access to a weapon, have access to a gun, have access to a knife, have access to certain things, then they are responsible. When you send your child to a birthday party and they choose and elect at your daughter's age, she's a big girl, she's 12 years old, to go into an apparatus where kids are acting like fools. 12-year-olds, they're jumping all over each other. According to your daughter, she was the one who first put her hands on him. I mean, other than in play. She didn't like the way he was on top of another girl. She dragged him off. She slapped him at one point. Now I'm absolutely certain that Devon, although he did a very stupid thing, didn't mean for your daughter to break her foot.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He put his hands on me and on my legs, and then he pushed towards me.
That's
and I
what
fell.
kids do in that thing. You stay there for a long time.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Felicia Hunter says she was harassed and assaulted by 11-year-old Devon Miller. She claims it resulted in a broken foot.
Now, Felicia.
Your Honor, I have something to say.
What?
Beginning when I first entered, he put his hands on me and on my legs, and then he pushed towards me.
That's
and I
what
fell.
kids do in that thing, Felicia. That's what you get in there for. You stay there for a long time. If you went in there and the kids were jumping around and pulling you down, at your age, you say, I don't like this kind of game. I'm going to go out and find something else to do with this birthday party if you didn't like that game. You know that. We're not playing pin the tail on a donkey here. You know, that's a nice quiet game that kids used to play. They don't play that anymore. Now they rent these big apparatus and kids go in there and they act like fools, but you're 12 years old. If it was getting too rough, you get yourself out of there. I'm not blaming you for breaking your foot, but I certainly don't believe that he intended to cause you to break your foot, or more importantly, that his mother had any notice or any knowledge that he was going to do something that day to injure somebody, and nor did she provide him with the apparatus to do it. You understand? If a parent, for instance, leaves a set of car keys in the car and leaves a 6-year-old in the car, and the 6-year-old manages to turn on the car and drive, and the car starts to roll and they injure somebody, then the parent is responsible for the action of the 6-year-old or the 8-year-old or the 10-year-old or the 12-year-old. But in this case, what proof do you have that this woman had any inkling that her son was going to do something like that?
Well, I don't, but she is responsible for the actions of her child.
Just a second. There you are right to this extent, Miss Hunter. There's no question that Devon here gave her a little nudge when she was getting out of the jumping station, right? You say it was an accident, you slipped on water. I'm not so sure, Devon.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
I believe that Miss Mosley would be responsible for your unreimbursed medical bills. He caused the damage. Somebody's got to be responsible for out-of-pocket. And I believe that that should be Miss Mosley. But you don't know what your out-of-pocket is yet. We're going to do this. You wait until you get a statement as to what your insurance paid.
Okay.
Miss Mosley, you will be responsible for any unreimbursed medical bills. I can tell you both that you should be able to handle this without coming back to court and say, here are my bills, here are the checks that I was given from the insurance company, here are the outstanding bills, you cover them.
Okay.
If you can't do that, I'll dismiss your case without prejudice. You can come back to me with the bills and I will order her to pay that. Do you understand? So let's be perfectly clear. You're suing for $5,000. There is no way that I am going to award you punitive damages against Miss Mosley because there is no indication that she knew her son would be involved with that kind of physical activity on that day. Okay. I do, however, believe, as I indicated, that between the two of you, you should not have any out-of-pocket expenses.
Okay.
Your daughter wasn't too smart. She's not blameless in this thing. She stayed there. She participated in the frivolity, right?
Yes.
She did put her hands on him.
Yes.
So I don't believe that either one of these two kids entered that arena that day intending that she end up with a broken foot and all that surgery that was required to make her whole again.
Okay.
So, do you want me to enter an order that, Miss Mosley, you will be responsible for any unreimbursed medical bills as they are presented to you?
Yes.
Good. That's all. We'll prepare an order that the defendant shall be responsible for any unreimbursed medical claims arising out of this incident.